16. All right, we're live. We're back on Sunday night, 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Jerry's just got out of bed. It's 6 o'clock your time, and we're back for another options talk. I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about ETFs and kind of talk about a little bit of the issues that I ran into with VYM recently. I'll probably do a video on it too, but Jerry's got a lot of experience with ETFs in general, doing options on ETFs, probably more than I do, really. I do pretty much ETFs every week, but I think he dabbles in some other ones that I don't probably touch or don't even know about or just probably really don't care about. But so I'm going to talk about VYM a little bit here in a second. Just have Gerry maybe do a little intro here for himself. So welcome back, Gerry. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I did just get out of bed. I took a little bit of a nap. The wife cooked a good dinner, so I'm a little food coma-ish, if you will.
Food
so
coma.
bear with me. I had she makes what does she call it? It's a pasta with grilled chicken and Romano and mushrooms and what do you call those dried tomatoes? They're not dried tomatoes.
Sun-dried tomatoes?
Sun-dried tomatoes and
you lost me at mushrooms, by the way.
You don't like mushrooms?
That's where I draw the line. Yeah, I don't know.
That's good stuff. But I'm back. If you don't know me, GW ETF channel. Got a channel on YouTube. Subscribe if you like. I go over a bunch of stuff and usually ETFs, but I'm branching out into all kinds of stuff lately. So
yeah, GW Life TV for the old school people.
Yeah.
So, well, let me talk about some of my experiences with ETFs and just VYM specifically, and then we'll turn over to Gerry to talk about some of his experiences lately as well, and then we'll kind of answer some questions. We might have a guest. I maybe queued up a guest here. It looks like he's queuing up. He'll be a talking icon because he's a faceless person, and I respect it because I used to work in that career field. But so let me talk about. I'm going to try to share my screen here, and Gerry, if you can let me know if it's actually showing up correctly. Of course, it's screwing up. Oh, man. Entire screen. Here we go. This should work. Allow. You see that, Gerry? It looks like crap right now, right?
Yeah, looks like.
Gotcha. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, good. All right. Well, this is the for everybody that's watching. This actually is my options activity for 2021. So I do have a 2020 options activity here with just rows and rows and rows and rows of options data that I had collected for about mid part of the year. But we're looking here at the options activity. Do we have feedback?
I don't have it on my end.
Okay. I don't have anything else open, but okay. I do have feedback. That's odd. Let me turn that down a little bit. So this is the options activity for 2021, and this is everything I've traded so far for this year. And this actually encompasses 3 accounts: a taxable account in Schwab, a tax-deferred account in Schwab, and also is my main account for Interactive Brokers, and that's just all these accounts right here. So I make I log all those trades, and part of the reason why I log all those trades is I want to know what my average DTE is. I want to know how long I actually hold on average. I want to know what my most successful / my most common trades are. I also want to look at, how much premium I've sold versus how much I've bought back. I want to look at my losers. I want to look at my losses. I want to look at the overall gains for the year and all that stuff and make sure I'm on track, right? So if we go back to wherever the hell it is, here we go. Let's look at the VYM here. I'm just going to sort the tickers here. And so let's sort the tickers. So here's VYM right here. So I only have one that I actually started. I started back in December of last year. Okay, and this was a 60-day DTE. All right, so right there, 60 days. Okay, and I Part of the reason why I did that is just so I could get a different, more options on the strike, I should say. And so that was a 60-day TE. I did 95 strike on that. And at the price when I sold to open that covered call there at 95, the stock price of VYM was 89.50. Okay, so that was a 15% probability, and I got 35 cents for that. I sold 12 contracts. Okay, so I had over 1,200 shares in my account at the time, and that was like I think it was like 400 and something dollars I collected in premium, and everything was great for a while. Okay, until the market ran up, and if we probably just pop up a FinViz here, let's see. If we pop up FinViz, we pop up VYM, we can kind of see, I opened it up probably around here or so, and look at it, it's kind of just ran up, came down, ran up, right? And it ended up being the money. So I had to make a decision, right? The decision was I could roll it up, or I could buy it back, or I could let my calls get called away, right? Those are the three options I had. And, I kind of weighed my options here. And I mean, if I roll it, I really couldn't have rolled it very far. If we look at the options chain right here, and this is basically 1 month out, 28 days. And I had to really roll it. So it was already at 96. So I had to roll it above a 96. And I think it was at like $1.40 or something like that to buy it back. So I had to literally get probably up to, this 97 number here. And that's $1.50. That's actually not even good enough. So it was really tough to roll. I couldn't even roll it 30 days. And that's when I started looking at the 60 days. And I don't actually have the 60 days brought up here, but I really could only went up to like the 98 area and just barely get to the 98 where I would have covered the loss. Plus I would have made some credit, a little bit of a credit. But it just wasn't worth it because, the stock was probably going to still run up. I mean, although you look at the chart here, it looks like it could roll over, but, the stimulus is just around the corner, right? So I'm thinking that in the back of my head as well. It just wasn't that much, $1.50 move. And it was literally only about 1%, maybe 1.5% from being in the money again. So I decided to just buy it back, take the $730 loss, which is what I took right here. Okay. And that was a little bit of a, it didn't hurt my ego or anything. It was just, it is what it is. It was a calculated decision that I made, right? Because I'm already up in that stock right here, right? $15,000. And if I let the stock just get called away, that's $15,000 in capital gains I would have had to pay tax on. It would have been realized, right? So I didn't want to let it get called away. And I really didn't want to put myself in a predicament where this stock is just continue to run up and I'm going to continue to have to roll. And it's going to be harder and harder to roll every single time. And I'm waiting for a pullback to kind of get lucky there, right? I probably should have really bought it back probably on this low right here, but I didn't. And, we just never know what's going to happen. I figured it wasn't going to run up that much. It's VYM. It really doesn't run up more than, say, about 7 to 8% in a year. But it's been doing, 4 to 5% in a month. And in this case here, it did a little bit more than that in 2 months. So I decided to just buy it back, take the $730 loss. And if I go back here, I ended up opening a new batch up on Friday. That new batch is right here. And I'm probably not going to be doing 60-day DTEs on VYM anymore because it's just, after a big 30, almost 40% decline in the market, VYM is going to run. So, and that's exactly what it's been doing. It's been running, it's catching up to the overall market. So I ended up just doing a 28-day and about 4.6% run up that it needs to have in order to be in the money. That was about a 9.8% probably being in the money, but I only got 10 cents for it. Okay, so that's not a lot of money. There was 90 cents I really sold because I only sold 9 contracts this time. $90 is $90. I'm not gonna, It's still kind of almost free money in this case, but I feel comfortable here at a 30-day DTE with almost a 5% move. I don't think VYM is going to run 5% in a month. It's highly unlikely. And if it does, that's fine. I'm not really going to sweat it at all. Probably going to stick to 30-day DTEs on VYM until things calm down. And but just to let you know, if I went up to the next strike or something like that, and so I'm at 101. If I went to 102, there's no money there. There's like zero money there, right? If I come back down to try to get a little bit more premium out of it, okay, the $100 strike right there, which I looked at, that's basically a 15% probability in the money, which is usually pretty safe. That's where I was at on the 60-day, right? It would have been, probably about 20 to 25 cents that I could have got for it, a little bit more money. But, I already got burned a little bit by the 14.5 to about 15% probably in the money as it is. So I decided to just, push it out to the 101 there, which is, roughly about a 5% move to be in the money. A little bit less money that I collected, 10 cents, not a lot. It is what it is, $90. But, it's $90. It's kind of still free money the way I look at it. It's just kind of addition to the yield that VYM pays. So that's kind of the story on that. I'm actually just going to talk about it in the video, just in case anybody that's, obviously not everybody watches the live stream, but that's just a little bit of a shift there that I'm going to be making. So let me turn it over to Gerry here. And I appreciate anybody that if you have any questions about what I just talked about, let me know. How do I get back here? Okay, let's just stop that.
No, I think that's a good move. I think that's overlooked is the tax consequences of a covered call being called from you is you're going to realize all those capital gains. So managing that is a very important thing to do. So taking the loss isn't really, in my eyes, not really a loss, because what would that $15,000 cause you in tax consequences?
I can make the $700 back, right? I mean,
exactly.
That's what I'm looking at, because I sold them last year too and made some money, right? So it's not like completely a loss of $700. But then just to let you know, literally earlier that day, it was like a $1,400 loss. So the stock had come back, and all right, I'm taking my opportunity right now to get out, cut the losses, and save that $15,000 gain, and then try to regroup, go with a shorter DTE, and then if it's 10 cents, every month, that's fine, right? That's still 14, to $1,500 probably a year I can get out of it, maybe a little bit more than that. So it was kind of, and that it's about half of what the dividend is right now on it, right? So 1% or something like that.
That's not chump change, that's for sure.
No. Do you want to talk about maybe some of the ETFs that you've been doing, your most common ones? I know that you and I touched SPY and QQQ, IWM, and we touched some other ones, but maybe there's some other ones you're talking about, like XOP and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's actually what I suggest a lot of beginners do that are really trying to get into the cash secured put side. There's some advantages to ETFs. If you look at the Spider ETFs, they have all the sectors broken out. You have XLF, which is the financial. You have the XLE, which is energy. XLK, which is technology. All of those. There's a bunch of others. Every sector has one, and I like doing these ETFs because ETFs remove one very important variable in a cash secured put, and that is earnings. So you don't have to worry about earnings with an ETF. It takes that variable out of the equation altogether. So you can concentrate on the mechanics of doing cash secured puts instead of, oh wait, is there earnings? Am I going too aggressive with this strike? Things of that nature. With the sector ETFs, you can just concentrate on the actual sector itself and not company specific. Now, what I've also done is I've gotten away from, I'm seeing some people up here with NEO, like NEO, I've gotten away from all the juicy premium stocks, right? All the EV stocks, all the biopharmaceutical biotech stocks. I got away from all those as individuals, and I do ETFs. So, clean energy. There's PBW is one ETF. There's TAN is a clean energy ETF. There's a couple other ones, but like I said, what that does is that removes that volatility. There's still volatility there, no doubt, but with a lot of these biotech and EV stocks, the volatility in a single stock could be major, and it could really hurt you. So I take Palantir's another one. Actually, it's probably going to slow down now that they have earnings.
Shout out to Matt.
Yeah. So I instead of playing those individual stocks, I get into the ETF that tracks those stocks. That way it removes a little bit of that volatility, so you don't have to mess with it and possibly get burned. So with meme stocks, we call them meme stocks. They you remove the earnings play, and you remove some of the volatility there. So I like doing ETFs. It's easy to do.
Don't get paid as much, but
you give up some of the juicy premium. You do.
Right. Also, you might get stuck having to do a 30-day DT on it too.
Some of them are 30 days only. Yes. Another good example of one that's not is ARK-K. If you want to play Tesla, if you want to play, all the stuff that's in ARK-K, all the meme growth stocks, ARK-K is a good way to get cash secured put income out of it, and it's weekly.
Yeah, and don't do naked calls on it.
And don't do naked calls on it. Don't do naked calls on any of those meme type stocks. That's just you're
asking for it.
You're asking for it.
I mean, we kind of got lucky, but Cody here has always got to bring up the junk. Please discuss what I should do with my 100 shares of NEO. I'd take it out and shoot it. No, I'm just kidding there. I don't know what you mean, Cody. I mean, aren't you holding it because you think the stock's going to go up? Isn't that the main reason why people hold shares?
Yeah.
Are you trying to sell covered calls against it or what?
If you got 100 shares, I would imagine you like the company. So
what's your break even? You break even too low? Sell it right at the money. Collect a fortune off of it. What are you guys' plans when the market crashes? Not bearish, just making a list of things. People are, well, we talked about this extensively last night, actually. I have my own plan. I'm probably going to buying some leaps on some various stocks. I'll probably dump a bunch of money into TQQQ. And I might shuffle some cash out of, depending on how far NUSI goes down. It also depends on how far the market goes down. Take money out of NUSI, maybe throw it back into VYM, throw it into TQQQ or something like that. So I do have a game plan. It's going to be way more aggressive this time. And this isn't going to be, if we have a pullback, he says crash here, but we're not going to have a crash. The crash that we had was in March. We're probably not going to have one of those for another 7 to 10 years, most likely, right? 20% is not a crash, in my opinion. That's normal correction. That's healthy for the market, actually. I don't think we're going to have one of those anytime soon, a March anytime soon. We're going to have a 10 to 20% pullback? Probably. Who knows when? My guess is as good as yours. Throw a dart at a dartboard. But that's what I'm planning on doing. What are you planning on doing, Gerry?
I like the TQQQ play, especially with me being an ETF guy. You could get prepared for it now. You can sell pretty deep cash secured puts from TQQQ right now monthly. Get paid quite a decent premium on it. And just do that until you have a market crash. It's kind of like,
we talked about that a lot last night.
Yeah, I love
first thing on Monday morning.
Idea.
I'm selling like five or six of those.
Well, I'm not a big baller like you, but I might sell 2.
Well, honestly, it doesn't require that much. It's like
it doesn't.
A quarter in margin. So I mean, it really doesn't require that much. and it requires literally TQQQ to go down 50%. Now that sounds like a lot, but it is a triple leverage, so 50% is really not that much. But I would have some out there because most likely this market's not going to go down. It's biased towards the upside. Collect that amount of money. If it goes down, I want to own that anyway. So
yeah, because what we say, QQQ, the NASDAQ would have to drop 15% roughly, 15 to 20%
in 30 days
for those puts to be assigned. So I don't know if that's quite likely. We'd have to have, like you said, another March, and I don't see that happening again for a while. So
it's not really a March. It's technically like a October,
like a September, yeah,
October, December of 2018.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Or 2018. 2018.
Yeah, I think that was a 20%er there.
Yeah, it was about 20%. So it can happen. 30 days. It's kind of unlikely to happen in 30 days, but it can. I mean, think about it. That's only 20 trading days, right? It can happen, but that's okay. Me going to 5 contracts or something like that, I'd probably actually add more. If the market dropped 10 or 15%, I'd actually probably even add more contracts on, even down lower than that, and just take advantage of it, and then maybe get assigned some and stuff. So yep. I do have a plan there. What the hell? I like this one. How are you liking? Well, we just got married on Friday, so actually just earlier last week. We're on our honeymoon right now still. Yeah, I don't know. She's not putting out, so she hasn't put out yet. So hopefully soon. We'll see if she's a dead fish or not. But yeah, no, all serious, Petey. I'm really liking that position. If you haven't seen that video, go look at my latest video. It's on Newsy, how I added that to portfolio. And I thank Gerry for kind of bringing that one up and, saying, hey, you got my full endorsement. Go ahead and marry this one.
As long as you got a prenup, you're okay. But I spoiler alert, I bought into it too, but I'm only a week into it. We're still on our honeymoon, so I've been watching to see the dividend is supposed to be coming out here. They'll probably announce it tomorrow, is what I'm guessing, and I'm hoping it'll be. Date? Yeah, because
I'm gonna get a dividend. Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna get a pretty big dividend, probably
It'll be pretty big. Yeah,
300 some bucks.
That's what she said. Great point on the ETFs for CSP. Never thought about them not having earnings. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea for people that don't want to watch the market so much. You just sell yourself a real conservative on a conservative put on an ETF or index, and let it roll. That's a good way to go.
I added another data feed to my IB account. $5 a month it cost me to make sure I get the earnings, and then I run that in my script. My script, when I'm bringing up the options chain, it runs, checks that same symbol for the nearest earnings and displays it right at the bottom. I figure that $5 a month, it'll pay for itself by screwing up and putting an earnings in there by mistake or something, So $5 is cheap insurance to find out when the earnings are.
For sure.
What's this one? Jeremy. Who's Jeremy? Why not invest in some safer companies for your first time?
Oh, there's a Jeremy in the chat. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. I guess I passed. What was my first investment with CCI? Boy, it's scary, right? So yeah, that's your first investment or first options investment.
Yeah, that's your first investment. Yeah, you just jumped in, head first. You didn't even mess around.
Down, actually. But I mean, honestly, CCIV is I actually like it because I like Lucid. I like anything that could be a Tesla killer, I guess. You can really give them a run for their money because right now they think they're the shit. They really think they're the shit. My shit don't stink. Walking around like this. Screw you, right? So if more people can get out there to just ruffle their feathers, and Lucid, they make some high quality cars too. I mean, it is what it is. But I think aren't they transitioning this week, like on Tuesday or something like that, to the SPAC or whatever. So I'm not really a SPAC man, but
Yeah, I'm
ask
not
Olga.
following
She's the SPAC.
SPACs, so
She's the SPAC woman.
there's a SPAC ETF. I never even checked on options on that. There's this someone check on that. SPAK is the ticker. I ought to check that one out.
What's the plan for choosing strike prices? So I'm using probability of in the money. If you don't have that, use delta. It'll get you close, but it's not exact. It's not. I mean, if it's 5% probably the money, it could be like a 6 delta or something like that, or it could be a 4 delta. I don't technically look at that, although my tool actually checks the percentage from in the money. It checks that along with the probability, puts the delta next to it and all that. But for me, I'm looking for, depending on what it is, I look for about a 5% probability in the money. What are you doing, Gerry?
Yeah, I do. On single stock, I try to be in that 95% probability of profit, or 5%, however you want to say that. ETFs, though, I do get down, because ETFs, like I said, you give up you give up some premium for that lack of earnings volatility. So I usually on ETFs around the 88 to 92% area for ETFs. Usually does pretty good.
Yeah. Let's see. Cody's just lighting up the chats today, apparently. It's going to be tough. I read somewhere now that RK is so huge they'll have a harder time. Huge and hard go together, by the way. Finding smaller companies to invest. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I really think that Cody has the hots for Kathy Woods at this point. It is what it is. That was definitely his Valentine. I'm okay with the ARCs. I'm not like a big fanboy of them. I do trade. I have trades on CSPs. I think on ARC-K and ARC-G. Yeah, it is what it is. I think you're trading those too, aren't you?
Yeah, I do ARC-K and ARC-G. I don't do any of the other ones, but I usually have a rolling weekly on ARC-K.
This one. Why not start with ETFs like VTI? Yeah, those are good ones. I'd say ARC-K is probably a little bit more riskier, but
Yeah, and I'd say QQQM. The volume is low on QQQM. It's tough to get a fill there.
you do QQQ.
You can do QQQ. It's a little bit more money, but if you like QQ, if you have patience, because QQQM is only monthlies, you can, if you want to set it and forget it. I usually do one once a month. I have one on now, actually, and I sell it, collect 120 bucks, whatever, and I just let it sit there for a few weeks.
You also could do SPY instead of VTI. There's a lot more. There's a lot more expiries with SPY. It does require quite a bit of margin, though, but it is one of my major go-tos. I literally have like a set on almost every week. But what's this going? Busted my darn balls. I'm not against the big boys, but I think that Elon Musk thinks he's like God's gift to freaking EVs and man and all that. So I'm just not the biggest fanboy of him. I'm not against Tesla, but I don't like just having one manufacturer out there dominating, because I don't want to drive a Tesla around. It is what it is. So I want to drive a 6-speed sports car. That's what I want to drive. I'm old school. Let's see here. I'm doing options will trading. Yeah, okay. I just bought 4 puts for premium 20 calculator. What'd you trade? What was it on? 5-minute deal. What's 5-minute deal mean, Gerry?
Yeah, what is that? I think a lot of people, they focus on the premium, and
Yeah, let that dictate your strike.
yeah, and that's kind of scary a little bit, because like it's put right there, 4,800 profit in premium. If you just sold it, you didn't make any profit. You just sold it.
Yeah, I had that problem with
Realized.
Matt. Matt used to say the same thing. I just sold a freaking Leap going out 2 years. I collected $5,000. Yeah, that's not
Profit's not
realized, really.
realized until that contract expires or you buy it back.
Correct.
So,
I mean, let me put it to you this way: when I bought my VYM back, took that $700 loss, I had to sell some stock because I had used that money to buy stock. I had to sell some stock to get out of margin on my account. So you can use the money and generate money off that money, but it's not realized really.
yeah, it's
So
not. That's why that's
careful with
the
that.
only thing I really keep track of when I do options is realized profit.
Yes,
I
exactly.
don't look at premium collected. I don't look at any of that. I look at realized profits.
If that's the case, I'll just sell a bunch of freaking leaves and just throw a video out there. I made 50K in 5 minutes today. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a good one. We got Stock Ninja here. Let's bring Stock Ninja in. Oh, let me before I do that. What's this one? I think he's talking about. Let's see, reinvest 5K took. Yeah, I think he's talking about something up here. He's probably talking about. Is that
Ethereum,
crypto ETH?
I think
Ethereum?
Ethereum,
Yeah,
I believe.
I like this one here. I want to sell calls. Yeah, we actually that's Moderna, right?
No, that's in
No.
blockchain, I think.
Oh shoot, I don't know. You and I did Moderna
Oh,
for a while, but
yeah, we did Moderna for a while, but we don't mess with a lot of this these guys, these young guys, man, they just go after those that
what is
premium.
the deal? Get rich fast, or the hopes
It's
is get rich fast.
I guess it's
Most
because
likely
we're
you're going
old.
to get rich. You're going to get rich slow, and you're going to get poor fast. That's most likely what's going to happen. But let's bring Stock Ninja on here. He agreed to come on last minute, so we'll bring him in. And let me see,
Ninja
unmute
man.
his mic. Can't unmute
Yo,
my
what's
guest
up?
because they choose. I think he's muted right now.
No,
Unmute
you can hear me
yourself.
now.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Hey, turn up your mic if a little bit if you can.
Turn it up. What about now?
That's better. All right, Stock Ninja is so we talk almost every day when we're trading, at least. He got humbled recently, and I hope he's going to at least talk about that story and maybe pass along some lessons learned because obviously if you learn from somebody else's mistake, that's the best method possible. So welcome to the stream, Stock Ninja. I hope I don't mention your real name, but
Just call him
Yeah,
Ninja
thanks.
Man.
Yeah, so you want me to talk about getting Roku'd? That's what we call it, right?
well, that's the verb I came up because of you. But yes, talk about how you got Roku'd and the loss you took, the lessons you learned, and what you're doing for going forward because you're kind of skittish, lately or been skittish, and I don't blame you. So
All right, so where to start? Okay, so last November I had my best gains trading options. So here's my options progression. Like I think I started in September. Gerry knows this because I talk to him about it like all the time. So I started in September with like a $200 profit. I was like, oh, okay, this is good. October was like 800, and then November was like almost 7,000. So you're probably thinking, what is this guy doing, right? Well, what happened is I, watched a lot of Tasty Trade and all those videos, and I got a lot of information on how to trade options. Anyways, one thing they always preach is trade small, trade often. So I got the trade often part down. So I was doing a lot of trades like pretty often. The problem is, to get 7,000, my account at that time was around like what 125K ish, 130K ish. So to get around 7,000, that's about like almost a 5% return, right? My target was 2%, and the only way I could do it in a relatively safe way was to go a lot of contracts. And for example, say you sell a couple contracts on Roku, like naked calls, and then it goes against you. You just average down. It's fine. You're right. It's you're way out of the money, like 95% probably your profit. You're good. But what happened was it just never stopped going up. For I think the moment where I realized that it's just not going to stop. I had 6 contracts basically, and when I realized that every other weekend they would upgrade it, literally every other weekend. Like people, it was like their jobs on Sunday afternoons to upgrade Roku. I shit you not, I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, okay. So Roku was around 250 when I initially sold the calls. And no, it was like 240. And I sold them for 285. That was the average for the 6 contracts. So that was like it was a pretty fairly sized move for I had like 2 weeks. It was about 2.5 weeks left. So it got to like the last day, and then it just shot up to like the day before that to like past 300, and then my margin was evaporating really fast. Like I was going to get a margin call relatively quickly. So what I did was I would think around a $10,000 loss on 2 of the contracts. And what I did was I took 2 of the contracts I was down on, and I actually sold strangles on Tesla instead. So basically what I did is like, say I'm down $10,000 on, so $5,000 on 2 Roku contracts. What I did is I sold a couple Teslas, like $2,000 puts, and then $2,000 calls. So basically you just kind of like balance it out. Anyway, so eventually come January, I'm stuck with just like, somehow I got out of another one, and I was in just 1 contract. I'm like, okay, I can manage 1. Man, that thing just did not stop. Like it went from 250 where I started all the way. It was like 4. I think I pulled the plug at like 440.
How many times did you roll it?
I rolled it, I would say 5 or 6 times.
Oh,
yeah, I started. My contract started at 280. I got all the way up to 360, and I'm like, this is going to like 600. This is going to clean. Like, I would literally add money every week to my account, and there would be no difference in my account because it would just eat the money. It was like, it was insane. I just couldn't deal with the stress anymore. I'm just like, it's not worth it. So basically, don't overestimate contract sizing or underestimate contract sizing.
And the stock choice.
Yeah, because
naked call.
Yeah, so naked calls, big mistake. Roku. I mean, Roku was okay.
Medium type stock, right?
But yeah, you have to look at the market cap. Like, it can move like 10, 15% in a day on a whim based on any hedge fund deciding to take a large enough position, right? Because it's only about
when you and I met and we started doing this, you were safe. Like you were like Dave safe, right? Hashtag Dave safe. You and then you started, like okay, do this, do that, blah blah blah. We had our scanner set to 10 billion and above. Now tell us what your rules are now.
All right, so really simple. No earnings. No, just don't do it. It's not worth it. Second, I try not to trade any meme stocks. Like, I mean, you can buy options on meme stocks. If you're feeling lucky, that's fine. I would never sell options on meme stocks, especially in the call side. Another one I recently added, I guess is what Dave's alluding to, is $100 billion market cap is minimum. I don't trade underneath that. Yeah.
I have mine set to 20 right now, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah,
and mine at the 17.
So, like I said, like my goal is 2% a month return wise with options. It's doable with $100 billion market cap companies. There's a lot out there. There's so many companies you don't even think about, and then you're like, oh wow, it's $100 billion. So
there's semi in betweens too, between tweeners, right? There's tweeners between meme stocks and a Pepsi or a Coke and stuff like that, right? I mean, it's like a Spotify is a good example, right? Spotify, Shopify.
Yep. There are some very mature companies that are in that mid cap arena that are pretty decent, stable companies, and they get overlooked. Whirlpool. Because there's actually quite a bit of mid cap companies that are actually been paying dividends for 20 plus years. So you really, if you wanted to be in that space, there are some options, but to be really safe, you go the Ninja Man route and look at huge companies, very large.
I think it's just this month. I'm up 4.7%. And I've actually dialed it back this month. We still got seven trading days left or something like that, or 6 days or what, five,
Yeah.
5 trading days left. I'm up 4.7% this month. And I'm not trading meme stocks at all. I rarely did any naked calls this month at all. No, almost zero strangles. So I've been dialing it back, learning, not necessarily that Ninja, but just his, being in there, his presence being in there. It's like he spreads skittish around, you know what I mean? It's like it's coming out of his pores or something. So,
but at the end of the day, I think out of our group, Dave's the only one who's basically been unscathed.
That's like just because I have a lot more experience than you have. That's all.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like since we started,
I think that's it too. Because I mean, I took my lumps in January, and this month I've slowed it down. Stock Ninja actually has taken what I did in December, and he's doing that now in February, and I'm taking what Stock Ninja did originally, and I'm doing it now, or I'm kind of just slowing it down, being deliberate, not using as much buying power as I used to, and I'm actually up. Actually, I'm up 12% this month, but
Jesus. Okay, thanks a lot, Gerry.
Okay, Gerry.
You also use a boatload of buying power up too, though. But
not February. I've slowed it down. I've gotten it down. There's times where
what you go on the weekend as 60+%, right?
I go into the weekend hot, yes. But during the week, I'm actually under 50. There was a couple times this week I was under 50%, which is like scary. I'm like looking at it like that looks weird. I need to sell some stuff.
You're just thinking, oh man, I could be making money right now.
Yeah, exactly.
What is this? My last option I did was for any 100-year. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I don't know. More power to you. It's not a stock I'm going to touch, but I mean, I take that back. I mentioned this last week. The issue that I have, Neo, is you're susceptible to whatever comes out of China. They manipulate their stock market. They manipulate their currency. They, what was it, just 2 years ago, whatever, they cracked down on Neo, right? And it's crashed to like freaking pennies on the dollar, right? So that's the reason why I don't deal a lot with Neo. I don't want to deal with that. Anyways. Thoughts on brokers. I can't get a decent options fill with Fidelity. I don't use Fidelity. To me, Fidelity is like caveman-esque.
I use Fidelity for covered calls only. That's it.
Yeah, when you don't really care about your fills with that. So.
Yeah, I use it for my IRA. It's okay. It's not as responsive as IB, I would say.
What are you trying to do? Retire? Are you trying to just cover calls on Fidelity? If you're really trying to make some money and get serious, go to a real broker. Not a real broker, because Fidelity is a real broker. I mean, don't get me wrong there, but I don't think it's the right platform to be doing what we're doing.
Wait, Dave, you gotta give them your starting with that like crap car to the S-Class heated seats, right? Where does Fidelity fall in that?
It's got the basics. Got a backup camera. It's got I don't know about that. When you go to IB, you're literally going to have seat warmers, nutsack warmers. You're going to have the whole kit and caboodle on it. And once you get rid of that and try to go to some other place, like Robinhood, for example, where they don't even have electric windows, you're going to really miss those heated seats and some of those more common features that you have at IB. So it's just kind of, I don't know much about Fidelity. I do have an account at Fidelity, but I don't trade options there. I don't actually trade stocks there at all.
I've done puts on Fidelity and covered calls, and it's just not. It's not the level of IB. It's just not. I don't know how to.
It came from old school mentality. I know Retired mentioned this, like, Wells Fargo, they got a stagecoach for their freaking icon. They're back in the 1800s. Well, that's Fidelity and Schwab, honestly. I think Schwab is a little bit more advanced, and when they can bring in, TD Ameritrade and you can use TOS, that'll be a huge step up for Schwab, actually. But, you need a fat platform, I think, to do what we're doing. You're going to do it from a phone? I mean, I don't know. Like, I wonder who here is using a phone to make.
I think
Stock Ninja's not using a phone. I'm not using a phone. Gerry's not using a phone.
no.
Olga's not using a phone. Retire with Options is not using a phone. Nobody's using a freaking phone.
Yeah, what's his name uses a phone. He does it mostly on the phone. Patrick?
You mean Petey?
Petey. Yeah.
I think if you're growing up in that time, then maybe. But to me, I need to have more information in front of me. I want to have a chart right in front of me while I'm looking at the strikes, while I'm looking at the probability of the money. I need all this stuff running along with my Python scripts to help me or whatever, make the informed decision I need to make. And I just don't want to be doing that with the phone personally. But I mean, if you can do it on the phone, I don't have any, I'm not really going to knock you at all. It's just, I feel like you're kind of susceptible to, what connections issues and all that. And I don't want to be dealing with that. Stock Ninja. So give us an idea of some of I know exactly what you're trading, but I don't know what you tell the masses what you're trading lately.
What did I trade recently? Oh yeah, John Deere, which I didn't know was over 100 billion the other day, had earnings and their premiums were really high. So actually, like, my trading style, I think similar to Gerry, we do a lot of scalping because we're like, I work from home and then my computer is literally right next to my work computer. So I think Dave usually waits for like 70, 80% profit, right, Dave? Yeah.
I'm getting up to 70 and above now, yeah.
Okay. So he's a lot more passive. Like, he puts on positions and he just like waits. So Gerry and our style is more like, okay, you see 20% in like an hour, I'm just gonna take it off. Even if it's like $15, I'm just gonna take it off. Because the way I view it is, if you have a month-long expiration, and you make 20%, are you gonna wait another like 30 days for the extra 80? That doesn't make any sense, especially if you have stuff you can put on. So typically I just trade like Facebook, Netflix, Microsoft, Alibaba. What else is there? Adobe is a good one. I've likened Adobe quite a bit. Intuit. IBM, you can toss on a few for puts because it's very stable. It's like a rock.
Boeing, yeah. What's going to happen with Boeing on Monday, you think?
Wait, what's happening on Monday?
Oh, you didn't know about the engines blowing up? Apparently 2 engines are blowing up now. So
that's been falling out of the sky.
Yeah, it landed on a car, literally demolished the top of the freaking truck.
Well, now I got to log into IB to make sure I don't have any Boeing on, but
I do have a Boeing put on right now.
Let me check my spreadsheet.
But I don't look at it as a buying opportunity. Nobody died, so we're good there. It was in Colorado, by the way. So
I don't think I have a Boeing on, actually.
Caterpillar was a good one too for a minute there.
Yeah. Well, didn't Deere cause the whole? It caused Cummins. It caused PAG. Caused CAT and all those to go up. I think the infrastructure bill could help those go up as well.
Yeah, I also trade AMD quite a bit.
Yeah, I do as well. Yeah, it's more memey though.
Yeah, but for the stock price, it has really good premiums if you look at it relative to that.
Which one?
AMD.
I just feel NVIDIA. Do you touch NVIDIA?
Well, NVIDIA has earnings
drop.
Yeah, you're right. That's why I haven't opened a new one.
That's why I haven't touched NVIDIA. Sorry, what were you saying, Gerry?
I just AMD. I just feel like it could just act like a meme stock any day.
I agree. I think that thing could tank any day. It's just a matter of time. When all those bulls thought Intel was going to go bankrupt and all that, they all piled into AMD. They're all going to get their shit handed to them. 98% of what I do is on mobile. I don't know how you do it. Geez. I can't even text on a phone these days. It just drives me nuts.
I usually end up with 2 or 3 screens when I put on a trade. So I don't know how you do that on mobile.
I don't know either. I guarantee you it's cutting into their profit by using mobile, but if they're still making good money doing it, then that's fine. But I would not. I would do it in a pinch.
That's pretty
You know what I
freaking
mean?
awesome, though, to think about. You're sitting there anywhere in the world, typing on this little tiny phone and making money.
The last time I used a phone to say to sell to open a naked put was when I was sitting in a hotel in Costa Rica, and that one bit me in the butt. Down 100 grand in one
With that
stock.
win,
So yeah, it was Win Resorts. Yeah.
Oh, so Dave, I just looked at my spreadsheet. What did you talk about Clorox already?
No, I did not. Let's see. Did we close that? I don't remember.
Oh, we're
It's
still in that
on,
crap.
right? We kind of got lucky though, but honestly, we picked good strikes, so we're fine.
Yeah, I mean, 180 was safe. It dropped quite a bit that day when we sold to open, and then I'm like 180. Yeah, that looks solid. The problem is it just went down for like 5 days in a row. It was like a slow
5
bleed,
days.
too.
Try like 2 weeks straight. Look at the chart. That thing literally fell off a cliff. It's like playing golf and trying to hit the hole, and it just goes all the way to the side of the green. So, let's see here. Frank, my man, use Robinhood to trade my phone, but normally, yeah, I agree. I'm not like knocking people using your phone, but to me, it's like that should just be a backup. I feel like you're cutting into your profits by using a phone, but maybe you're just not taking it as serious as I take it, probably, to have all that data in front of you in one view. But I feel attacked. I almost use. Oh shit! Sorry. I'm a Gen Xer. I think that's the problem right there. Like, it's not that I didn't grow up with a phone. I didn't grow up with the internet. So
yeah, that's a big deal. Like, if the phone went away, I'd be fine.
yeah, matter of fact, I want to go back to a string and two cans, honestly. When I fire, I'm getting rid of my phone. I don't want a freaking phone. I want to go back to a flip phone or string and two cans, honestly. Too much intrusion in a regular phone. Sometimes I use a phone. Yeah, like I said, I think a phone is fine if that's a backup. Like, you're out, you got to go to an appointment or something, and you want to take a trade off and not get screwed like Thumper did, then take the trade off on a phone. I think taking a trade off on the phone is probably okay, but putting it on, I think it's a little more. I think you're just cutting in your profits a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah. Somebody wants you to come back there, Stock Ninja. I think I unsubbed from you today, by the way. Sorry.
That's fine.
I don't know if
Dave does house cleaning every other month.
I do actually do house cleaning. Nobody's made a video in 4 months. It's why am I still sub? So, I do have 2 screens right here, but that's not connected to my laptop. So, what's this here? Oh, no, I'm actually using a 13-inch laptop to do trading on. And the reason I do that is because when I was day trading, I would want to have more screens. But I feel like what I'm doing here with options, it's a little bit slower. You don't have to be as quick. So I was scalping when I was day trading. Even doing day trading on options, I was scalping. I actually had a bigger screen. But what I'm doing here, I don't need as big as screens. So I got a 13-inch laptop up here. And the reason I like that and to keep this platform is I can travel. I can travel all around the world with a 35-liter pack with this laptop. So I can sit in a hotel or drink a mojito on the beach trading.
About 6 or 7 up, Dave, Rebecca had a concern about, I forget, it says, see, stuff like that is what makes me nervous about options. Headlines can swing stock prices either up or down. Just scary to me. And that's where I would say you probably missed the first part of it. ETFs, news usually doesn't move an ETF as big. I mean, entire market news, yes, but not AT&T got rid of blah, 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 and then the stock tanks. That's not going to affect an ETF, if that makes sense.
I would say, as we've always said, and I would even throw a new rule on there to start with. I'd say start with covered calls. But
yeah,
and I've never said this before, but it makes sense now to say it. If you have gains in that stock and you don't want those gains to be taken away, like to be realized, then maybe you don't want to sell a covered call against it. Because you might not be able to roll yourself out of it. You might not be able to. If the stock continues to go up, it's going to be tough to roll yourself out of it unless you go way out. You know, like, oh shit, I got to sell a freaking leap now. Oh, darn it. You know what I mean? You don't want to be stuck in a year, that darn thing. So you missed the beginning of the live stream when I talked about trying to, you know, what was I going to do about my VYM, right? That's a good example. If you have 100 shares of T and you have, you know, $15,000 a gain in T and you don't want to realize that, then, you know, you could probably roll out of that. But I mean, that's just a bad example. Just be careful, I guess, in that aspect. In general, unless you know, sell below your cost basis, you're not going to lose any money. There's no risk there, really. The biggest risk, they're all secondary risks. I talked about this last week, actually, selling below your cost basis. That's just a dumb thing. That's a mistake that you would make, not you know, the stock delivering something, you know, that you didn't expect or whatever, or, you know, selling and getting, you know, called away and you're getting realized to gain. So I don't know, you got 3 ways to get out of it. Other than that, nothing we're really talking about right there is real. It's not risky at all.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would say covered calls are, if you're, you know, in trouble with a covered call, it's a very high class problem. Like those are the kind of problems you want to have, not necessarily the other way around.
it's like BMW jacket wearing people's problems.
Ah, jeez.
So he's got a BMW jacket, no BMW, folks. So he's never owned one.
I will at this rate eventually.
Anyways, I just busted your balls. Oh man. Yeah, it does keep going up. I was so right on that stock, but it just, I don't know, timing, I guess. I missed it too because I was in other junk at the time. I actually wanted to buy leaps on it, and I just missed it.
Wait, I thought you had 2 leaps on it.
No, it's on CCL.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm triple dipping at this point, right? It's in BYM, it's in Nusi, it's in my portfolio, so it'll probably get cut out at some point.
Well, CCL's been printing this week.
Yeah, I got a PMC. It started out with a rich man's. It wasn't a rich man's. I guess, what is that, Gerry? It's not a rich man's call.
Poor man's covered call.
No. Even before we put the short call on, we just bought leaps on it.
It's just
straight lottery ticket.
We just bought leaps on it,
yeah.
And then we decided to. Well, I don't know. A couple of us did. We're like, oh, why don't we just sell some calls against our leaps now? And that's what we ended up doing. I think mine's at 27. I don't care if it hits. Go hit 27. I'll just sell my leaps. It's up. What, over 50% at this point?
Yeah, up 50%.
Yeah, I agree there. T and PFE. PFE's, I wouldn't say it's as stable as T, but they're both solid companies though. Yeah, safe and boring.
That's
the way to go, if you ask me.
The way to go to start out, and you figure out if you
T's perfect, yeah.
Any kind of risk tolerance. If you don't have the risk tolerance, maybe you don't want to move to anything else.
It at least gets you familiar with the jargon, familiar with the mechanics and all that, familiar with the platform, because every platform is different. Like, web platforms are kind of funky. They'll have sell to open, they'll have, you know, drop downs and all this other junk. They might not let you do, you know, things other than 5-cent increments and junk like that. So it's the mechanics. What's this one? Yeah. Are you using TWS, PD?
Yeah, I think he's on IB, right?
Yeah. TWS, it just takes time. It takes time.
Yeah.
You could be in that thing for months and still not even scratch the surface of the abilities of what you can do in there.
It is an a la carte platform, so they let you do bonds, futures, forex, international. I mean, it's probably one of the most well-known international platforms. I've been using it so long, I'm so used to it at this point. But at the same time, I haven't scratched the surface either. So Boomer. I'm definitely not a boomer. Jeez, Gerry's the boomer. Yeah, I don't do that. I set the same limit price with options as a phone. Yeah, I don't do. I take that back. I actually do limit prices, but I don't. I don't set it and go away. I think you do that, maybe Ninja.
Nah, I don't have the patience anymore. If it doesn't fill in like
That's how I
5
get better prices
seconds.
than you get.
Well, you get better prices because as soon as I put it on, that shit tanks or goes up.
That's
Against
what
me.
I wonder. That's what I wonder on the phone is with TWS you have live data. Is a phone live data or is it delayed?
It's probably live data, but it's probably slightly behind.
Slightly off, right? So
yeah, I think it connects. It syncs with your account settings, but it's just not the best. I had to close a position on my phone before because TWS was acting up, but it took me a few minutes to figure out how to do it.
Rebecca, Dave wants a life alert post fire. I've fallen and I can't trade. Dave, how else do we talk to our girl? What girls? Jeez, what girls are you talking about there, MGTOW boy? Dave, do an option. Do an example of how you use chart and trade an option. Oh, I did that a couple of weeks ago.
Did that last week, right?
Was it last week? No, it was the week. Was it? Was that a dog or was that a bed bouncing up and down? Nobody heard it. Yeah, I talked about that. Was it last week? I think it was the week before. Go back and look at a couple of those other live streams, Golden Boy. I went through several samples. If that doesn't work, I can do it again, but not this stream. I'm quite tempted to do spreads. Still haven't done one yet. What's stopping you from doing it, and why do you like spreads? We probably have an idea of why you do, but what stock you looking at?
I need to try one of those just to say I did it.
PMCC is essentially like a reverse spread or whatever you want to call it.
It's just the super wide though.
Yeah.
We talked about those, last week or whatever. It's people with smaller accounts would probably do spreads or to define risk. It's one of the two. I think what you're going to end up doing, Gerry, is you'll do the spread and then you'll probably make $20 or something like that. I could have made 50, and you're going to be pissed off. That's what's going to end up happening.
I do know. I've seen some videos on YouTube where people do spreads on like really large stock price companies like Google and Amazon, because if they want to trade it and you don't have the margin available, that's not a bad option.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about with smaller accounts, right? How are you using Gnome? Oh, I'm using Mate. Mate's my favorite. I've been using Mate for several years now, probably since 2009. I've been using Mate. And Fedora. I've been using Fedora for a long time. Let's see here.
No Red Hat?
Well, Red Hat's based off of Fedora. That's where all the Red Hat Enterprise comes from.
Didn't IBM buy Red Hat?
Yeah, it's Blue Hat now.
God. I like Red Hat better.
Yeah, I do too. But that was a good move for IBM.
No, it was a great move by them.
Yeah. I was late to the stream because I was editing a video about selling my bed. $10,000 bed. Did you get? Let me guess. You drove it off the lot. You lost 50%. You lost 50% immediately when you drove it off the lot. Slept in it, and now what did you sell it for? Did you sell it for $5,000 or less? That's what we're guessing.
Is it a Sleep Number mattress?
I don't know, but all I know is that literally the thing.
Yeah.
It empties your bedpan and everything for you. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I need one of them.
Gerry. Probably Frank. Most of my options. Yeah. Most of my options are on the IBKR. With all you know now, if you could go back 10, 20 years or when you started? Would you do it differently? Would you do? There's a lot of things that I'd do differently. For me, I'd trade. I'd trade. Of course, I don't even know when ETF started. A lot of them didn't even start back then. They started like in the mid 2000s or something like that. Maybe some of them. I think for me, I know how I'd trade. Market crashes differently going forward. I learned something from 2008. I learned something from 2001. I learned something this time. So I know what I would do differently there. My question is with March compared to 2008, like 2008 kind of dragged on for about a year to 2 years, about 18 months or so. This time, literally, they got a Chinook helicopter and just dropped a boatload of cash on the market overnight, literally. And the market just went up and never returned. My question is how can you actually improve upon that, right? Just a bigger bill? Is that all it's going to be? Is a bigger bill? It's not going to be a bigger helicopter. Well, I guess it really technically needs to be a bigger helicopter because it's going to be a bigger amount of money. But options wise, I'd probably actually continue to do what I'm doing now. But obviously, if I knew what I knew now, I'd have started a long time ago, and I'd be sitting on a beach right now. So, Gerry, what about you? And Ninja, you'd follow him up.
I'm only been investing since 2018, so if I could go back, heck yeah, I would have never sold because I worked at Walmart when I was 18, right? And they would give stock, and I had no idea. They just said, "Oh, here, this is a good idea. Just sign up here, and they'll automatically deduct it from your check, and then they match it, blah blah blah." So I remember distinctly that those share prices were like $16, and but I had
Walmart super cheap in 2011.
Yeah, I had no idea what the stock market was, though. I just, and I know they split a couple of times after that. So who knows? If I would have, I would have been heavier into that and just heavier into investing altogether. But you guys now that are growing up in this generation, man, you got, like I said, you're trading on a phone. That's like, back in 1992, 93, we just had newspapers, and that was it.
I never traded back then. I was in high school, but I did. I first traded in 2000. I think it was 2001, and we used a computer. E-Trade and Scott Trade were pretty. E-Trade is what I had, but yeah. So we were using a computer. But you're right. Back in the 90s and 80s, and you had to call a broker. It's like $40 or $50 or something like that to make a trade.
Yeah,
so this is cheap, instant.
Yeah, I remember opening the newspaper and I'm like, what the hell are all these numbers on here?
Yeah, tickers and stuff. You're laughing, Stock Ninja.
Yeah, I've never seen that. I'm just trying to imagine like Gerry and Dave pulling up a newspaper looking for Newsy, and I don't know what not.
Newsy didn't exist.
Yeah, I know. It's such a
GE was the shit back then.
GE was the shit. Yeah. Enron.
Fun fact: GE used to be the largest company in the world at one point.
Yes, it was. ExxonMobil was large as well.
Yep. So as far as PD's question, I mean, honestly, like if I knew what I know now and about options, I would just buy like a ton of naked calls on Tesla and just call it a day. Right?
Well, okay.
But I know that's not what he's really asking.
All right, freaking Back to the Future here.
Honestly, though, like I would definitely do a lot more options trading because looking back, I don't know what the VIX was like in the last 6 years. It might have been. I think it's relatively low, right?
It was above 20, I think.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's perfect. If you have like a high VIX and if the market's literally just like grinding up, or sometimes you get some spikes, it's really easy to make money, especially with options. And taking what I know now and going back, that'll probably be the way to go as opposed to just buying individual stocks.
I agree. Cheat code for life right there. Gerry, You'd be driving around in Provost right now.
Yeah, that'd be what I'd be doing, trading
Maritime.
all over the country.
Yeah. Yeah, $1 million coach, basically. I mean, you can buy them aftermarket used for 150,000 bucks, but the only thing with TWS has no programming interface for chair. Oh, is that
For the charts?
What's charge?
Charts.
I think you're talking about charts.
I think he's right there. The API does let you download historical tickers where you can kind of, run. It'll let you run like some of the studies against it and all that. But you're right. There's no interface for the charts, but you can still download like the moving averages and all that, so you can get like a crossover and stuff, and then make decisions off of that and do an automated trade if you want to. I don't do any of that. I don't use a chart for any of that stuff, but I'm looking at doing more of API programming for automate some more stuff. But let's see, smaller accounts. Yeah, that's what we thought. Yeah, SPY is credit spread every 2 days. You must be going pretty aggressive on it then. Yeah, you must be really aggressive to get 5% out of it every 2 days. That's probably the SPY. So SPY is not as scary as SPX is. SPX is way scarier. What do you think about that? Put it on a fucking Friday and then Monday just roll it out. You're done.
Yeah, that's interesting. I have to take a look at that. Need to do a paper trade on that one.
Is that relative to his account, or is he just talking about that trade? Like the return on the credit spread?
Maybe he'll say down lower. Have you ever exercised an option and why? Yeah. It's funny. I actually just went in the paper account. I exercised the long call to satisfy the short call PMCC that was showing negative in my account, so I just exercised it in the paper account. But I'm trying to think if I've ever exercised. I don't think I've ever exercised an option. I had no reason to. So one of these days I just want to screw some people, so I probably will exercise some early, just to screw some people on the other side. So I'll lose money doing that, by the way. But yeah, Gerry,
I've never exercised an option. Had shares called away from me, but I've never exercised an option that I owned.
I guess the other part of this is I don't think you had to call any broker for that I'm aware of. You should have an option to exercise it. Now, I mean, if you're talking about like a Schwab and a Fidelity, then maybe, because those they're like gatekeepers. There's a lot of they're so old school, right? But with IB, you don't have to. You can just right click on it and say exercise, and you're good to go. But
yeah,
there's no charge for that either. There's no fee.
Fidelity sent me a book on the options trading.
Yeah, that freaking 300-page little paper pamphlet from like 1996.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking about right there. They're so old school. They're playing catch up. Damn how Dave, tune into the video coming. Yeah, I'll watch it, but I was hoping to give us a little sneak peek there. What was the commission back in 2018? 1818. What was the commission back on which broker? Which broker? Robinhood was free, although it was not free because you were technically paying for order fill. So IB was IB's. I've been using IB since 2011 ish. It's been cheap since 2011. Costing me less than $1 to make a trade back then. So I've had E-Trade, I've had Scott Trade, I've had TD Ameritrade, where they're all about $7 to $9. So, and you started relatively recently, Gerry, so you probably never experienced anything expensive.
No, nothing at all. I'm like in IB, I get paid to trade sometimes.
Sometimes we get paid, yeah.
Scottrade was $7. I remember that was my first broker account.
$6.95 or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also, you know, when you had trades that cost that amount of money, you actually thought about, like, you actually had to think about, okay, I'm going to wait till it gets to here to take my profit. And, you know, like, you really thought about it. It's not like it is now. Like,
Yeah.
stock
Right
in and out of QQQ, you know, 20 times in the same day for $20, $20.
Exactly. You could just take profit all day long, just instantly. It's crazy.
What is a newspaper? It's black and white and red all over. How about that? Get it?
Got
Okay.
Dave's dad joke.
Yeah, that's a dad joke
That
there.
is an old one. It's an oldie but a goodie. Do you know what a Playboy magazine is?
That's still around, ain't it?
It's a PDF now.
Aren't they going public? I thought they were going public.
It's a PDF with a centerfold falls out of the PDF.
I think they were trying to do the SPAC route.
But newspaper, pick a ticket and price, meet up with the broker. Sahib, wait, I thought you were like a youngin'. Aren't you young? Maybe he's older than us, Gerry. Maybe he's a boomer.
Geez, that sounds like a pain in the ass, don't it?
Yeah, it does. Bacon for the win. Hey, welcome, Bob. I know that you reached out to me this week, had some issues with your power, so welcome. Hope everything's better out there. Looks like, you know, places have been warming up as well. We warmed up here. We're 36 now. That's pretty warm. It's shorts and parka weather here. Gerry, what? You're probably like 70.
Yeah, we're in the high 60s, somewhere in there.
Talk about SPX. Yes, XPS. That's scary. That's way scarier than SPY is. Like, I tell you, I put it was a credit spread, I think. A credit spread on with SPX. I was sweating bullets the whole weekend. Couldn't wait till that Monday to pop around because the loss was substantial compared to the amount of money I was going to make on it. So I'm like, that's out of my realm. I'm a rookie.
The SPX is cash settled, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Frank, you need to call them.
I applied for options at Fidelity 3 weeks ago. Yeah. Did you fumble your application at all, or were you? What did you answer on the questions? If you don't mind sharing.
You gotta put at least like 20 years of experience.
Nah, I don't know. For Fidelity, you might have to.
I'm just joking, but you can't do honest answers. It's never gonna get approved.
So that's what I'm kind of curious whether you used Robinhood at all to maybe start there.
Yeah, he's using Robinhood.
Get like a year experience under your belt on Robinhood, and then go to a real broker. Get a real broker. Try it then. Schwab made me do the 1 hour consult. That just cracks me up, you know, like, oh, let's do a piss test. Let's do let's do DNA test. I mean, gee, are you kidding me? Like, they never had to do that back in the day. I've never had to go through any of that stuff ever. But I understand why they're doing it now, right? People are killing themselves and stuff from options and getting overloaded and margin and mistakes, and you know, people are losing a bunch of money, you know. Roaring kitty. Schwab made me do the to be approved for. So you got a level 2 out of it. So there's a level 0, 1, and then you got level 2. I think level 3 is the highest Schwab goes. So it must not be a retirement account. It's got to be a brokerage account. I don't remember what level 2 gives you specifically because I have level 3, and then in my retirement it's a level 0. Did you get approved for options on your Fidelity account, Gerry?
Cash secured puts and covered calls. That's it.
So, okay. It could be level 0, level 1. I mean, when did you get approved for that? And what did you answer on the questionnaire?
I answered as truthfully as possible. With the idea of getting approved.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
Well said.
And Stock Ninja, what did you use before you had IB?
Wow, really?
You had Robert?
I used Robinhood, and
Oh
then
man.
basically Dave was preaching IB for like 3 months before I finally decided to try it, and then I realized I should have done it 3 months beforehand. But
Well, you should
anyways,
have done it 3 years ago.
yeah, but I don't know. It's like that thing. It's like listening to people's advice, and then you're like, yeah, and then until you try it, you don't really believe it.
It actually took Randy coming around because he pushed it more than I did. I'm like, I really just talk about it, but nobody really gave a shit until Randy really started pushing it.
Well, he was posting like thousands of dollars in profit
Is
every
that
other
what it
day.
takes? Is that what it takes?
Yeah.
If you could buy a Tesla a month, then what the hell?
Yeah.
I mean,
Is that
like,
how you get 100,000 subs in a month? I just start posting games.
oh my god. Well, let's
Jeez.
be honest though. Like, I would say changing to IB definitely changed my life financially for sure. In terms of like the opportunities it opens up with the stock market, it's crazy. I mean, yeah, you can do most of the stuff everywhere else, but like the ease
The
of
buying
access,
power.
yeah, that
That
too.
4-to-1 makes a big difference.
Yeah, I got 6-1, but yeah.
Well, portfolio margin over here. I could get portfolio margin. It says it wouldn't help me. That's what it says. So
Well, that was on Schwab. You tried, not on IB.
no. I'm on IB. I do the little click button right there. It says this is what it would do after portfolio margin. Like nothing. Like
Interesting.
I don't own stocks in there.
Yeah, I mean, I have a few holdings in there. I'm mostly cash now. Cash and PMCCs, I guess.
So you heard it here from the mouth. The mouth of a mountain. No, you heard it here from the horse's mouth, folks. IB changed his life. Okay. It wasn't long after that, and Gerry moved over there, and we're all. I mean, I'm not like forcing you to go to IB, but it might be worth checking out because.
Yeah, I tried Robinhood for I think a week.
I still have an account at Robinhood,
and didn't work for me.
I've never technically used Robinhood for options ever. I never used it for stocks.
It's awful. It's like cash. Basically, you need to have the cash in there. Plus, whatever it's not real margin that they give you. It's like fake margin. I don't know how to explain it, but
well, we know all the statistics in there are fake, so or it's wrong. I don't know. I should just not quite. I mean, Robinhood helped. Robinhood helped the industry, so it brings new, fresh capital in. It brings new investors in. I'm not going to knock them for that. It's just know that you're doing yourself a disservice, right? By the order flow, the crappy fills, and not having all these tools available to you. I mean, you think about because we are paying commission at IB. Those commissions, I've already probably spent $500 commissions this year already, but I've made $12,000 this year already in options.
The cost of doing business.
The cost of doing business. Just for now, you stay with Robinhood, get experience, and then go to a real broker down the road.
Yeah, don't become complacent. I guess that's a good way of putting it.
A lot of people don't realize what they're missing. They don't know what they're missing. That's the thing. They don't even realize it. It's the heated seats, baby. I doubt I'll get approved. After the whole Wall Street bets thing, it might even be harder now. Robinhood made it harder last year as it was, and now it's even harder, I bet.
Yeah, you'll probably have some reforms after all this GameStop stuff too.
Yes. That was kind of funny to watch that debacle on TV unfold last week.
Yeah, that was a friggin' mess.
I'm playing the same $6 to $7 a trade commission. Are you in the States?
He's in Canada. Right?
Oh, Trading 212, Quest Trade. What else do you have?
He used Quest Trade, I believe he mentioned.
IB works? I know IB works. Drawbridge Finance.
Yeah, you can use IB in Canada.
So, yeah. You should be able to use IB.
Have the same commissions though.
Yeah, I don't know what the commissions are. What's this one? I used to pay $6 a trade doing penny stocks. Yeah. I think I did a trade on TD Ameritrade that's doing GBTC out there, and that's doing Bitcoin, the grayscale Bitcoin Cash, and that wasn't cheap. It was like $5 or $6 to trade that because it's an OTC or whatever, it counted as an OTC. Canada. What's this one? Oh yeah. Warm up, man. Warm up. What's this? So out of power, we bought a big Honda generator. I bet you I should have sat outside of freaking Home Depot with bought all the generators up. Here, you want a generator? Mark up 100%. Price gouge, baby. It's opportunity, man. Yeah, hopefully you didn't have to overpay for it. At least they had one, so.
Yeah.
Cole, if you want to come on, let me know. You can come on, buddy. I know you joined last night and you were talking about it. So
good luck with Fidelity. Yeah, they are slow.
Yeah. Totally honest. I'm surprised I wasn't immediately denied. No news is good news. I don't know about that, but Frank, have you ever said the word Robin Hood? I don't think so. I actually think I say game stock, by the way, instead of GameStop. But
you do.
Yep.
And that's just, I don't know. I'm weird. What can I say?
Crapple.
No wonder I'm single. Quest of Fire. What platform did you apply in? She did Fidelity. Oh, she just said it right here. I guess we're slow. I'm slow. Getting to the bottom here. JPS for the win. That's a term I coined because of All Good. She loves that juicy premium. So I call it juicy premium syndrome. That's where JPS came from. She talked about it last night too, quite a bit. What stock was it? What stock?
She needs a hat or a tattoo. JPS.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Get a tramp stamp. All Good. It says JPS.
Oh my god.
See what your old far husband says. Oh man.
Jeez.
Can you see All Good with a tramp stamp?
Oh.
Oh jeez.
Freaking Dave.
I think one SPX is equal to 100. Yeah. Is it 10? It's 10x, right?
It's 10. It's not 100.
Yeah, it's 10x. But still, it'll put some fear in you. If it doesn't, then you don't know what the heck you're doing.
Yeah, it's 1,000 SPY shares, I believe. Yeah, 1,000.
Nice, Gerry. Political answer. IB, you have to be 21 for options. What?
Yeah, that's true. That's why that kid can't get approved.
Can't own a handgun? What the hell? I didn't know that. That's odd.
DJ Trains, he can't get approved because of that. Yeah.
So in Robinhood, do you have to be 18 and over, or does it matter?
Yeah, I don't
Because
think so.
when you open any account these days, this is not like specific to any broker. This is like the Patriot Act requirement that came out of 2001, by the way. You got to give your address. You got to give, like literally where you live. You have to give social security number. You got to give. So my guess is that you get to give tax information, all that, answer some other questions. That's standard nowadays. You actually have to have the physical address. You can't give a PO box. You can't give. A lot of times they're cracking down on like UPS box like addresses and stuff now. You can't do that. So they're really cracking down on that, and that's because they want to know where people live, and they're not getting out of. And it's for your safety because of 9/11, but it's all BS. But so I'm actually very surprised. If you want to get an account below 18, what is it? Just like a custodial account?
UTMA.
You got one for your son, Gerry?
Yeah, it's a UTMA. He takes over at 18.
Okay. That's a trust?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. Let me just write down IB. Yeah. Soon trying it, Randy. How old? Yeah, I don't know how old Frank is. He's
Frank's
got to
19.
be. Jesus. I was still in high school. I was still in high school to almost 20, actually. Good Lord, you'll be a Deca millionaire. Probably, yeah. Frank's got a good head on his shoulders. He's a smart dude.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He needs to get snatched up before he gets out of engineering school, though.
Yeah, I got to bounce, but thanks for having me on, Dave. Gerry?
Thanks for joining, sharing your story, Stockton. You come back anytime you want. Let us know.
Thanks, Ninja Man.
Take care, buddy.
Later.
Did you see any other questions that I know I haven't got to the bottom yet? But
Not that you've passed, no.
okay. The stupid thing just skipped all the way down. I don't believe in Randy's numbers, to be honest. There's no reason for Randy to lie. We know him a lot better than anybody here. We talk to him personally a lot, on a personal basis, outside of YouTube and all that. You can believe, if you want to believe he's lying, I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's no reason for Randy to lie. There's just no reason.
Yeah,
I've seen his account. It is what it is. He'll show you the realized profits. If you actually think that's doctored or you think it's, screenshotted or something, then what else can you do? I've been using Tastyworks, to be honest. I don't have any experience with Tastyworks. I know Randy's probably the only person here that's used it besides maybe him, Invest to Retire. From my understanding, what Randy said about it, he said it's just a glorified GUI. So if you like GUIs, you're young and you like the way GUIs look, then you're gonna like Tastyworks.
Invest to Retire, it's an anomaly because he's like having all these issues with interactive brokers, and it's like I don't understand why he's having those issues. I wish he would work them out because I wish IB would help him work it out.
Invest to Retire. Did you reset your settings? Do what I told you to do? Tell us how that worked out for you, if it worked out. We can talk on Thursday too. Maybe around Thursday. I might be. I don't know. Geez, now I feel like a boomer. You are a boomer. You look haggard. You look haggard. She says in her videos, yeah, I look a little haggard today. Cracks my ass up if she says that. I was watching a video about Python script. Yeah.
I don't know anything about it either, Becca.
I'm a nerd. What can I say? I use Robin for quick view. Yeah, I get that. I think that's good, actually. I used to do the same thing, believe it or not. I was using TD Ameritrade, though, because TD Ameritrade actually has probably the money on it. So I brought TD Ameritrade up on my phone and then actually would make the trade on, it was on Schwab. So let's see here. Here's our options guru bag, Matt Money. Matt Money, baby. Matt freaking Money, killing it over there. Trying to beat me to my $2 million goal. He wants that $100 bill. But he's not getting that money. He's not getting that money. He's getting the 10,000 pennies encased in concrete. Okay?
Got to work
if I don't have any concrete laying around, it's going to be 10,000 pennies in a jar with molasses. Good luck. Talking about SPY put spread with expiration date 20. Okay, so he's answered the question he had earlier, or something he set up earlier above. 24 strike. So I don't know what the price on SPX is right now, or SPY is right now. Do you know what it is? Oh, actually, I think it's right here.
I don't.
SPY. It's 390. 390. That expires on the 24th. Yeah, I don't know about that. That's just too risky for me.
If that is the setup of a spread like that, risk $100 and make $5. I am not in that whatsoever.
The spread, so 5. I don't know what. Yeah, I have to run the numbers. That it's more like 50. No, it wouldn't be 50. That'd be 50 to 1. $10 or something maybe. Wouldn't even be worth it though. Yeah, those are terrible odds. Yeah, like just do a naked put on it. and you're going to make way more money than that, and you get way down below 378.
Yeah, I don't like that risking stuff. Like,
Yeah.
let me sell a cash secured put, and I'm not risking anything.
I don't have the numbers in front of me, Sauce. Unfortunately, I'll tell you what, Sauce. We can put Randy's Discord in the chat, and we can run the numbers for you in the Discord to help you out with that. But I can't. I don't have the stuff up in front of me to do it on the fly, unfortunately. That's $5. Yeah, to me, those are way out of whack. I would look for more of like a 3-to-1, 4-to-1, or something like that, maybe. Oh wait, I think oh, never mind. 4-to-1 margin on aviators is one of the things that really help. Yeah, I agree. Quitting your job, I know.
Buying power.
What's that?
4-to-1 buying power.
Yeah. TQQQ. Oh, that's right. He was talking about that last night.
Yeah.
I looked at it last night on IB. It's a quarter. It's 0.25. So it's 25. Whatever the price. If it's 55, I think we're looking at 55 strike. It's a fourth of that.
Yeah, so. That's right. That's right. That's not bad though.
No, that actually better than SPY actually. Business and women calls. Jeez. Jeez. And whore over here. Someone will call downstairs. I snuck back in. God. Hit my boy up. Media guru, yeah. Stevie is the options guru. See, hot Matt. As long as I've made money with my perspective, not Matt, blah, blah, blah. There she is. I think they're just going back and forth. Only recent observation. Tastework calculates buying power differently, lower in my case. Who runs Tastyworks? Is that straight out of Tasty Trades?
I believe so, yeah.
So they run their own broker now? Wow.
Oh, wait. I thought they were being sold.
Probably is. They already sold Toss, right?
Yeah, someone needs to put that in the comments. I thought I heard that recently.
Yeah, I don't know. They're probably just, Tom Snoznoff sold Thinkorswim. TD Ameritrade bought it. They actually bought Quote Tracker too. So they bought a couple of things, and it's a great platform. But I don't know who's running that broker there. And God, what would Schwab do with that? It's probably Fidelity or something. But building my formula than IBKR. Yeah, okay. Hot Coal is the boss. Bob Wright, hope you're doing power soon. Yeah, I think he's in Oregon. All right, Cole, if you want to come on, Gerry, I guess you can't do that, can you? Can you send stuff in like that?
I don't think so.
No? Crap. I'll do it. Cole, I sent the link. You can come on, Cole. Let me know. He came on Friday. Was bickering around with Matt for a while. 10% of you. Tramp stamp. Do you have a tramp stamp, Rebecca? What does this say? What does this say?
It says VOO.
What's that?
It says VOO.
VOO. Oh, VOO. No, let's see. It probably says MindMed or something. For commissions on IB, do you use the tiered or fixed plan? I don't remember what I'm using. I think I'm using.
I don't remember either.
Yeah.
I think I'm.
Because I think fixed plan is. I think the fixed plan is more for like doing stocks.
Yeah,
like
I think I'm on the
boatload of shares, like 30,000 shares is fixed price at $5 versus doing the tiered plan, which that 30,000 shares would be like $30 or $40 or something like that. So I think I think we're doing the tiered. I'll probably just I'll get the answer for you, but because I know you, Investing Sensei. Oh, here's Cole here. What's up, buddy?
What's up, guys? How are we?
NASA. We're going to space, baby.
NASA shirt. What is that? That's not a NASA shirt.
Yeah, to the
That is a
moon,
NASA
Mars,
shirt.
whatever sounds good.
Yeah, I got dibs on Pluto, by the way.
That's all yours.
So, tell us your story. I know that you've joined. I've talked to you on other streams before. I can't remember if you do options or not. Are you in Randy's Discord? Do you join the Thursday night thing there, or?
I'm in Randy's Discord. I don't really get on Discord that much unless Matt's like, "Hey guys, I'll be on the voice channel for a while." Right now, I only do covered calls because that's all that Fidelity will let me. I've bickered with them in the past about letting me do cash secured puts, but for some reason, having the shares and the money, or just having the money, doesn't really make sense to them, so they won't let me do it.
Right.
So, I don't know.
What stocks are you doing covered calls on?
I was doing them on T for a while. Right now, I have them on Palantir, so that's where the money's at right now.
And let me guess, Matt turned you on to Palantir?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously did my due diligence, of course. I'm getting absolutely pounded on Wells Fargo right now with their run up. And then actually,
Wells Fargo.
I can check. So Royal Dutch Shell, Exxon, so just really far out of the money, 10, 20 bucks every week. So just stuff like that, really.
Okay. I mean, are you going to move to, CSPs down the road if you get approved for it, or what?
Yeah, that's the goal. I'd
Okay.
much rather do cash secured puts than covered calls.
I agree. Covered calls is kind of like chump change, and it's slow, but it's nice to have the other side of the wheel, right? Like
Yeah.
you've only got one side of the wheel at this point. So, that CSP, I feel way comfortable on that CSP side. Adding that to it, I think, is a game changer for sure.
Well, and I think part of it too is the companies that I wouldn't mind having 100 shares in to get me to that
Right.
point were the ones that were beaten down the most in March. So now they're just at the point where they could pop at any given second, and I'm screwed.
You said you're in Fidelity?
Yeah.
I thought like a level 0 would be CSPs.
No, so the way it is level 1 is covered calls, and level 2 is cash secured puts and whatever other stuff it is, which I told them.
That's not normal though.
No,
not cash secured. So I mean,
Fidelity goes all the way up to 5.
Fidelity goes, yeah, it's got a few levels, but
I think it goes all the way to 5.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying they skip level 0. Like Schwab starts with level 0, so level 0 is like a 1 for Fidelity. But I think level 0, not level 0. I take that back because I do have a retirement account. They won't let you do CSPs for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I've told them twice on the phone, like literally, this is all I want from it. I want to do cash secured puts. I've got the money either way to do cash secured puts or covered calls.
Secured, right?
What's the point? Like, what's the problem here? And they're like, well, just screening, blah, 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 blah. And they like almost told me like, you kind of got a fib, but don't do that because that's bad.
Yeah, when you call them, they will kind of try to coach you. They try to tell you that you have to satisfy what the algorithm or program actually wants to see.
Yeah.
So they'll try to steer you in that direction without actually saying it.
So I was about to do it, and then they're like, well, wait 6 months because they can see that you just recently applied too.
That's not bad. That's not
bad.
No,
it's not terrible. It's just 6 months that I'd rather be doing it.
Because then you'll be calling up trying to, I want to do naked calls. I want to do this. I want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to do friggin' jade lizards and triple humpback whales and whatever else. So what's the cost there? Is it free?
It's like 65 cents a contract, I think.
Okay.
60, 65 cents. And then there's a 5-cent fee on top of that to make it 70 cents.
That's pretty standard. I think Schwab's 65. Schwab's with it.
And if your premium is under
10.
I forget, $10, it's free to close.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, nice. Yep. So when you let's see, if you get approved for cash, secured puts, what are you gonna open some on?
If Palantir keeps ripping like it is, I'd probably do it on that. Maybe. What's 21. That? Yeah, you have
21 strike. Yeah, Matt's a bad influence. He really is. So Last night he's talking about doing cocaine off of a pair of teats, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm gonna be tits up somewhere.
This guy.
He is. He's a funny guy.
So
Palantir, huh?
Yeah. So other than Palantir, I don't really know too much. Like I obviously understand. I'm aware of how to do them, but I don't understand what would make a good stock to do it. Besides, like maybe Palantir, just because of the premiums and the fact that like if it seems like if Palantir goes down 15% of the day, the next day it's just going to go up, or Cathie Woods is going to decide to buy millions of shares. So it's crazy.
Well, I mean, the world is your oyster then.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan. I'm not bullish on Palantir like I am, I'm just not bullish on it like Matt is, right? I feel like that stock could tank 50% easily.
I was hoping it would.
I mean, it's way overpriced, right? I'm not saying it's a bad company. I'm not saying it can't go up 100% or anything like that. I'm just saying it could tank, right? Below 20. So I waited, told Matt, I'm like, if it tanks on earnings, I'll open some puts on it. And I did.
I luckily for me, I'm in a different situation where I got in pretty early. So even if it were to tank that 50%, I would still be making some money. And I was even saying in like the WhatsApp group, like I want it to tank because I will probably just double up the position and write more covered calls on it. So.
Well, you can just buy your covered calls back right away.
You can do that too.
Open a whole new set.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Jeez. Well, I mean, is there any lessons that you learned? Have you been, screwed yet, or with no lube, or what?
Oh yeah. Don't. In Wells Fargo's case, if it's a stock that's probably incredibly undervalued, don't write one strike out of the money calls.
Was above your cost basis though, right?
It was above my cost basis. Yeah.
Oh. So you're forced to win.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm still in it. It hasn't been called away or anything. But if you look at the Wells Fargo premiums, it's very, very tough to get yourself out of that predicament.
Right. So you could roll up, but it's not as easy as it sounds to roll up on some stocks if they continue to go up.
Yeah.
Not without going way out in time, right? So.
Yep, and that's the problem. So, I think, so it's a March 5th contract for $32, and look at where it's at. But for me it's above almost closer to 38 now. So.
Oh yeah, see that sucks. That's the sucky part of doing covered calls is you're sitting there looking at $600 that I lost out on.
I don't look at it that way. It's so when you open a covered call, don't get enticed by that premium there. Oh, I could go way down here and get, $200, right? And it's gonna blow past it, and then you'd be like, oh, you're gonna be all upset, right?
Yeah.
So I would just set it up there. Give it some legs. Give it some legs to run, right? But
that's
kind of get some decent premium out of it too, right?
Yeah, that's what I've kind of learned with after getting absolutely screwed on that Wells Fargo. I started being a little more hesitant in my aggressiveness per se. So everything else is pretty relaxed. Really, in the past, I've been pretty aggressive with Palantir just because of the premiums, and I'm not married to it. Like, the only reason why I still have it is just because of where it's at in correlation to my cost average. But I mean, even like Exxon, like I'll write 5-6 strikes out of the money, stuff like that. I'm going to plead the fifth line. So yeah, I mean, it's just and for me to roll out and get a higher strike on Wells Fargo, I think I was looking a couple nights ago, I'd have to go like 5 months out. Like, it's crazy.
Exactly.
It's
That's
insane.
The problem. And hopefully you don't have like a $17,000 gain like I have you got to deal with. That's where you just end up buying it back. You take the loss. I hate saying that because we don't get into these things to be taking losses, but you got 3 options there, right? Like, you got to deal with it. I don't know. What'd you do there, Gerry?
I'd probably let it go.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it go. But yeah, it's not. I mean,
because the moment you roll up and out is the moment it's gonna come back.
Hopefully, Matt didn't hear me say that. But yeah, I'm probably just gonna let it go and then divert that $3,000.
You're gonna let him get it called away?
Yeah.
You gonna buy him back on Monday?
Am I gonna buy him back? Well, That depends. What I'll probably do with it, in all honesty, is DCA back into the position since it's $38 a share now and not 32 when I'm letting it go. So
Yeah, I don't know what Matt's fascination is with.
big fan.
Yeah, well, I owned it earlier, and they cut the dividend, so I cut them.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not going to screw around with dividend cuts, especially. I think my cutoff is 50%. You know, they went like 80% or something like that. Some crazy.
It was what was it? 52.
I thought it was like
cents?
65 or something like that.
Yeah, it was
I
more than
forget.
I wanted. It all went into JPM.
Yeah.
And that worked out good for me.
I actually recently let that one go.
JPM?
Yep.
Yeah, that, you know what? I do I don't think I opened one this week, but they're okay. They're not anything special. Just look. I don't know what the hell I got.
Yeah, I didn't have any options on it. I just had, I think, 15 or so shares.
Cover calls.
Yeah, I was just like, this is too high for me. I'm gonna let it go.
16 days, you can get like $13.
Woo. There we go.
I honestly really don't even screw around with cover calls in the dividend portfolio much, other than on VYM. It's just like I'm too busy making the real money somewhere else, to screw around 13 cents, But
it's probably not a bad idea to do them in the Roth and do like at the money, for like guaranteed income purposes. It's not taxed. I think Matt's
in the
been
Roth,
doing that.
you're right.
Yeah, I think Matt's been doing that a little bit, but I'm at the point now where I just don't even really want to mess with it in two accounts. So.
It gets tough. Yeah. Like a Roth would be great because I'm up $5,000 in JP Morgan, but I don't have a Roth. So I do have a retirement account. I'll probably, if I build that account up bigger, I'll just probably wheel in that account, but it gets tough. Just like you said, like if you have multiple accounts you're doing options in, it's a lot of work. You don't realize that.
Yeah. So so you guys are on Interactive Brokers, if I'm not mistaken. I know Dave is, but Gerry, you are too.
Yep.
So how's the process go as far as getting like approved for stuff like that? I'm just curious.
Same thing.
Just same thing.
It's the same thing as Fidelity. It's just not as. It probably is as stringent, but we
could ask Allgood.
They want you. Because what Interactive Brokers wants is that you understand that you have been making money on speculative investments. That's really what it is, and they want you to have a pretty decent net worth.
Yeah.
Anybody that has a large account, I would say $100,000, and you're going to transfer $100,000 in there, you'll probably get approved, is my guess. But I don't know for a fact if that makes a difference. I'm sure it does. It's got to play a role in there. But we should ask Allgood because she does. She got approved with IB. I don't know if they do a full anal cavity search at IB or not. So let's see what Allgood says.
Well, I started with $5,000 in Interactive Brokers, so.
Oh, you know what? Matt has a small account too.
Yeah.
Shrimp account.
It doesn't matter. The account size doesn't matter. They just want to know your net worth. How many trades?
Obviously, if you have more money in there, it's like it's going to give them a warm and fuzzy, is my assumption.
Yeah. How many trades you make, and how you've made your money, before you've got to IB, and that's where the speculative investment thing comes in. They want to see that.
I'm way behind on questions here. Shit. Finally have the ability to do cash secured puts outside of my IRA. Woohoo. Do people use different strategies for CCs and CSPs and taxable accounts? Yeah.
Yeah, so we were just
kind of talking about that.
Yeah, exactly. You can wheel. Like, I think a wheel is a good strategy for Roth or any retirement account, really. I don't wheel because I don't have any cash that's in there available. It's all in the dividend stocks, but I'm going to build that account to wheel in it too.
I had a small amount of money in one of my Roths, and I'm trying. I went and bought 100 shares of Kroger, wrote a covered call on it. If it gets called away, then I'll either, sell a cash secured put, or I'll find another 100 shares, or I might buy Kroger back and do it all over again. So that's it.
So
your flexibility inside of a Roth is just ridiculous.
Yeah. So would a wheel be I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead.
Dave. What
No,
it
go
will
ahead.
be when, like, I put on a cash secured put, it gets assigned, and then I just immediately start writing covered calls. Is that what a wheel is? Okay.
Yeah, that's the wheel strategy. And I mean, you can be aggressive with it too. You can literally like sell to open right at the money, the CSP. You'll get assigned, right? Make sure you're careful where the stock is on the chart, right? If it could drop another 10 or 15%, you had a tough time selling a covered call against it, right?
Yeah.
So be careful with that. What I would say is give it some room to move down, but get some good premium. Don't have to go as safe as Dave, right? Because you're trying to get assigned. Not really trying to get assigned. I would say you kind of got to juggle the two, right? Because you can literally probably go for months and not get assigned, right?
Yeah.
But I think that you're going to make more money if premium, and then you can turn around and sell a covered call against it close to right at the money, right? And you're going to make more money doing that. So it just depends, I think. I don't know, Gerry. What would you do in that case? Would you go just super safe and not want to get assigned?
I did it the other way. I did a buy right, which is they call it a buy right. So you buy 100 shares, you write the call immediately. And I did it, one strike.
No, you wouldn't use the CSP.
I didn't even use the CSP. Now, if it gets called away, yeah, I'll probably do the CSP to get back in if that's what I wanted to do. I would just have to, weigh the options, and see which way I want to go.
So yeah, there's definitely some thinking and decision making you got to do there, because I think a lot of people that wheel, I think Thumper wheels like for example, and stuff. If I was going to wheel, I'd probably look at a chart, find something that's near the lower trend line and strong support or whatever, and then I'd probably try to sell the put right there. Give it a little bit of to move down, but it's most likely to stick there if it does go down. They can turn around and sell a call against it. But the problem is, I mean, for what we're doing right now, Gerry and I and the Stock Ninja and a bunch of us, we don't want to be assigned. We're not wheeling.
Yeah.
So we're going into the CSPs or even naked puts here with no intentions of being assigned. We don't want to be assigned. So when you're wheeling, I don't say that you want to be assigned, but you want to make money too, right? So, and I don't know if you want to play the game of where you're opening up 30 and 40 contracts trying to wheel them, you know what I mean? On various stocks,
Yeah, for the sake of collecting premium.
So it seems
Correct.
like a wheel would be more appropriate for a stock that you're like double bullish on in sense.
Kind of. I think the wheel is a great strategy for more passive. It's more passive, number one, and it doesn't have to be, but I would make it more passive, and I would do it in a retirement account.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to think of what else I've had on. So yeah, with Royal Dutch Shell, that was one that I had to make a move with, I think a month ago. So I originally had RDSB just for tax purposes. And then just due to how low the volumes were, you could only do like monthlies on them, which was a pain in the ass. So I eventually just sold out of that and bought RDSA. And with that comes weeklies and a lot more volume and premium. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much, I haven't been doing any crazy like covered calls on any really like big movers, anything too volatile, just I'd say besides Palantir.
I would say if you're doing CSPs or you're wheeling, I would make sure you stick with some solid companies, right? Because you're going to end up owning them. What if it goes down? It goes to zero. You just lost all that money, right? So stick with well-known, big, good companies. What's in this private chat? Oh, Stock Ninja. Sorry. How do I get back to the regular chat, Gerry? There we go.
There you go.
Any white claws tonight? What's that?
Girl drinks.
Oh, I said Friday night how I was getting off to go drink some White Claws with the boys.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I call them girl drinks.
Thanks, Gerry.
Jeez, I must be old. I'm not much of a drinker.
That's just I don't drink, so I have no clue.
I'm not a big drinker either.
That's why I was calling it that.
She should have at least offered to share that whiskey with me, though. Jeez.
if you're gonna drink, at least drink what tastes good. I mean, that's
you got to
my
share with
opinion.
people too. You know, you can't just
Yeah.
drink by. It's no fun drinking by yourself. You know.
No, not at all.
Is it like a soda?
It is a. Have you ever heard of like a hard seltzer?
Yeah.
Like
It's
a Mike's Hard Lemonade or something.
Imagine like a sparkling water, but with a decent size alcohol in it. That's
Oh, okay.
pretty much what it is. Pretty solid.
Well, now I know you're blowing up smoke up our butt over here. Invest to retire. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think that IB has options levels.
I don't believe they have levels
It's
either.
on or off. It's binary.
That's
No,
interesting.
they do have levels. They do have separate approvals for like trading futures or trading leveraged products and things like that. But as far as options, if they approve you, you can do whatever the heck you want.
I honestly don't even know, because I used to trade futures on IB, and I don't remember ever having to go through special. You do have to get market data for it, but I don't remember having to get approved for it.
That's
But
pretty
maybe you do
advantageous.
now. I don't know.
That they would just turn it on or off. But if, for example, if I had an account, somebody that's newer to the options, and they just turned it on, I would be scared. In all honesty.
Yeah. Interactive brokers, they'll allow you to blow up your account. They don't care. Fidelity will care.
No, they'll let you blow up your account as long as there's no risk to them.
Exactly.
So, and that's smart. I mean, if you're running a broker, he's like, you think it'll let some freaking, hooligan over there put your own broker at risk? Like, no. So, I like.
I saw her put that earlier.
Yeah, that's funny. Tell us the truth. You got a tramp stamp or not? Should not admit it openly. That's hilarious. All good. Cracks me up. I got approved, then funded my account. She's not really using it. I don't know if it's for her. She maybe just needs to play around with it a little bit more. But honestly, if you come from a lot of other brokers, there's a little bit of a learning curve there. It's overwhelming too, I think, for a lot of people, just because they're not used to having, literally, it's like a kid in a candy store. You know what I mean? Like, literally, come in here, you got, $10,000 to spend in here. That's like what it is for a kid.
You're just referring to the buying power.
I'm talking about like the amount of features, bells, whistles, kit and caboodle in there.
It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming if you're used to just a Robinhood or just a web-based like Fidelity is, or if you haven't using the Active Trader Pro and Fidelity, if you're just doing the website stuff and you go to TWS on IB, it's like your mind is blown.
Yeah, I just use the platform on desktop. Trying to write covered calls on the phone is just horrible.
Yeah, you have to freaking.
It's awful. Yeah.
Fat finger.
Yeah, exactly. I tried to do it one time on the way to work, and I just said, forget this. I'll just wait till
tomorrow. Were you driving?
Nope, I would never do that.
I could see people like, stay red longer. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the app's actually not that bad. Like, there's worse apps than that for sure. It'll get you through in a pinch, that's for sure. I mean, PD trades on there. That's probably why I lost $50,000 though.
Jeez.
No, that's not why. That's a cheap shot, huh, PD? Sorry, buddy. Was that a cheap shot?
A little bit.
Okay. Let's see here. I should get a beer. Nah, beers. I'm not a beer drinker. What Gerry said. White Claw. What is this? Freaking turned into an alcoholic freaking channel?
Yeah, right?
That's my bad.
Darn autocorrect. Yeah, I guess so. Is there any questions about options or anything you would like us to talk about, people, instead of alcohol? Well, otherwise, we're going to turn into an AA meeting over here.
That's what Matt just said. He said, this is AA.
We know that Rebecca needs to sign up for that.
Let's fart of fruit flavor.
Man. What is that? Is that a Jelly Belly flavor?
Fart? I think they have one.
Yeah, you're right. They have a vomit flavor.
They have vomit and grass and dog food and.
Actually, Dave, I was just curious. Are you still doing the PMCCs on AT&T?
AT&T is the only one I'm going to be doing it on probably. So I don't want to say that PMCCs are bad. Okay, because literally just 2 or 3 weeks ago, we're like PMCP, like all over the place. Like,
yes, we're all
this
about
is
it.
the shit since sliced bread, right? But we were talking about it last night, actually. When you first open the PMCC, you make a boatload of money right off the bat because you're locking in that short call, right? The stock drops. That's where the issue is, right? The KMB is a good example here. Gas gasket maker. I'm down $2,000. I can't remember the percentage. $2,000 in the long call, and I haven't actually had to roll or even close out the short call yet. I'll probably close it out this week, and then I got to see what I can get out of it. If I can't get anything out of it, that's the flaw in the system, right? You either need to add more to KMB, an average down, or you got to wait around or go way out. So I think that where it is on the chart matters. Like, I think that's a big thing where you got to look at right there if you do a PMCC. And so for right now, I'm going to get out of all my PMCs with a gain. I'll roll them if I need to, whatever. I'll make sure I get a gain out of all of them. But right now I'm sticking to T. I got 15 contracts going right now. It's about $800, $900 for a 30-day gain or a 30-day hold. And I'll probably up that to 20 when I get out of the rest of them. So what are your thoughts, Gerry, on PMCCs?
I have the same thought. I'm running quite a few, and I'm looking to get out of them for the same reasons you are. But I will hold a couple. I will hold T. I'm trying to hold Pfizer because it seems like that's been it's going down, but it's staying above my break even. So if you can hold these long enough, they can generate income. But the key is for the stock not to freaking drop.
We're kind of being unfair too, I think, because these are 2-year leaps.
We have 2 years. I mean, we're judging this. We're judging this thing on 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
And who says that you need to do cover calls, right? Like against the leap every single week or every 2 weeks. You could wait. You could wait a little while for it to come back up. You got 2 years. You know what I mean? And it's just, I think that I don't think it's a bad way to go. Matter of fact, I mean, if you're doing like a dividend portfolio, you're probably still gonna destroy the dividend portfolio.
Absolutely. It's not a bad way to go. For me personally, I would keep some more of them on, but to be honest with you, it messes up my cash secured put, or not, my naked put side of the portfolio, because it messes with the liquidity, because it takes cash to buy the leaps. So it takes away from my liquidity. So if I have like it just happened to me last week, I had all these PMCCs open, and so it took away my liquidity. So when we have a pullback in the market, I don't have enough liquidity to cover the margin expansion or the buying power. You know what I mean? There's the buying power, there's the maintenance margin and the net lick. And when you have a pullback in the market, those contract. And if you don't have enough excess liquidity, you can get in trouble there, because you can't cover that contraction. So that's why I want to get out of a lot of the PMCCs. But I still think it's a good strategy, though.
I think I'll always stay with T's until something changes with the stock. T is like a major money maker when it comes to PMCC. So I would look at doing those, Cole, if you're looking.
Yeah, I was curious just because that's one of those stocks that it can burn you quick from a covered call aspect. Because I mean, with it, say it sits around $29 a share, unless you're writing covered calls at a $29.50 or $30 strike, you won't get anything. And it's a pain in the butt, really. I know there's been one time, I think it was right after their earnings, that it was kind of stagnant, but it was in the green. So I went ahead and put on my covered call. And then like a week later, shot up to like $31.50. And I'm like, well, here we are again. Like, it's just, it
is the nature of the game. I would say this, because you're using Fidelity, right? I don't think you're going to be able to do a PMCC in there.
No, yeah, can you do them on Robinhood?
In most brokers, I think with like I've never tried it on Schwab. I should see if they'll let. I don't have enough cash in there to try it.
See, that's the thing, right?
They,
So like,
so they don't recognize this as a covered call, supposedly.
okay.
So I don't know.
They recognize your short call as a naked call. So a lot of times they won't let you even put that on if you don't have.
IB recognizes it. So come on over. We'll take you.
Right.
Let's see here. I have $50,000 tied up in PMCCs, and that's exactly what Gerry's talking about there. So to answer Matt's question here, I know why Matt wants to know. Matt wants to beat me to the 2 million. Let's see. Yeah, I'm probably going to open up 5 to begin with, starting tomorrow, and start there. So it's really in the 5,500 strike, something like that. So
$55.
Yeah, well, 5,500.
Well, yeah.
Times 5, so that's about what 26K or something like that set aside. It's not, dude, it's like, it's 25% margin requirement, so it's nothing.
I'll probably just
open 20 or something once.
Yeah, knowing you probably would.
No, I'm talking about Matt.
Yeah, I might have to. I got to start looking to see what I'll put the Wells Fargo funds into once they get called away. I've thought about Pfizer. I've thought about I don't know. Pfizer's nice.
Transfer over to IB.
Yeah, I could do that.
There you go.
And then I'd be the one to put the money into the account and then them decline me. And then I'm like, well, here I am back at square one anyway. So
yeah, I don't know how that works. I don't know if you have to transfer the money first or
no,
what.
you have to apply first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in rich man CCs in the Roth. Yeah, you're a rich man. That's why. He's doing the rich man because he can't. I think it's through Fidel, and he can't do PMCCs in there, which is kind of odd. My guess is that Schwab would do the same thing, but I don't know. I will verify that. If anybody in here has tried a PMCC in Schwab, let us know. When I get enough money in that retirement account, I'll try it in there with level 0 and see what it does. They're actually, all the things I go through for my channel, putting on trades that I don't really want to make videos for you. I did a fractional share on Schwab just to answer somebody's question in the comment area. Yeah, I'll take a 30-cent loss for you. Dave, you do 70 to 80% profit. No, okay. I talk about the gain. Yeah, I'm trying to get a 70% above now. Unfortunately, last week was kind of weird. Like things just stuck around like at 50 and just never moved. I think that's because the market really didn't do much. Usually the profit only stays at around 40%. Oh, depends on the position, I guess. How much more money's left in it? If it's a pocket change in there, just take the gain and start a new one.
Yeah. This month I've really slowed down. I've been looking for that 70% mark, 80% mark, right around there. But if the trade I put on, if the very next day or the very next hour it's got 20% profit, I'm gonna yank that sucker off because it's like, it free money.
It depends if it's a riskier position too. If it's like a Tesla or something like that, I might take that at 50. This week I didn't because I knew I had a weekend right around the corner, so I kind of let it run for the weekend. So it's probably going to be like 80% tomorrow, but it just depends on the position for that to answer that question specifically. I'm trying to get 70% and above on everything.
I've done
what do you do?
I've done that in the past with Palantir, especially if I write a covered call and then the same day or the next day it's up 20, 30%, I'll go ahead and take that off the table. In fact, I almost did it Friday. I think I wrote like a March 12th $38 call when it was peaking at about like 29, $30 a share. And like 2 hours later, it was back down to 28. And I think it had like a 30% gain. So I probably should have taken it, but I didn't. So we'll see what happens with that one.
Yeah, I don't even the covered calls on like my Schwab account. I don't even look at those, honestly. One of these days I'm going to get screwed. It's going to be in the money and it's going to that's going to get exercised. But I really need to pay attention more to those just because. But okay, here's a question. When I saw a cash covered put and the price of the underlying is coming down close to my strike, instead of rolling, I sell a 15 delta call. Keep the put. So he's doing a strangle basically. That would why would that keep the put from being assigned?
I think he's getting assigned. So if he's about to get assigned, he'll sell a call?
I don't see that. I mean, I'm trying to make sense here. Does he mean buy a call? No, he's not buying a call. So I don't see why selling a call would prevent you from getting assigned, or it wouldn't stop the stock from going down either. Like it might stop the bleeding on your put, right? But that's a strangle, so it's going to stop the bleeding on the put, but it's not going to prevent you from getting it signed. So maybe you can clarify. Am I wrong there, Gerry?
No, I'm looking at it like he's selling the call before he gets assigned.
Yeah, why does that matter?
Well, I'm just saying how he's writing it out here. Instead of rolling the put, he sells a call and keep the put and get assigned. So essentially he's doing a covered call on his assigned shares instead of rolling the put. That's what it sounds like to me. But
put this in third grader terms. Yeah, my brain power is gone at this point apparently. But okay, so instead of rolling, I sell a 15 delta call and keep the put and get assigned. Sell a 15 delta.
So if his put is in the money, he's not going to roll the put. He's going to just sell the call and let the put go.
He'd be assigned.
And he'd be assigned, and he'd be essentially, he'd essentially be in a covered call position.
So he's just trying to sell it early to take advantage of the premium, or I mean, what?
I don't know, because if the price is coming down,
he's not going to get much
sell
premium.
The call at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he'll clarify because I'm apparently I'm not that smart. Does your broker automatically close? No, it does not. So you need to go in there and you need to exercise the long call to satisfy the short position that's in your broker. I verified that in my paper account. It literally showed minus 500 shares. I had to go in there and exercise the long call, and that satisfied the minus 500 shares, and then just everything was gone. Will our CC leaves print? They're already printed right now. What are you talking about? Mine are printed. Mine are up over 60% or something like that, 50 or 60%. PFE is below cost basis right now. Yeah, couldn't you sell above your cost basis? There was just no premium there. Yeah. What's BDD? Oh, I know. Never mind. I can't say that on here.
You could. You said some other crap.
I said some other worse stuff. Now we know better. Yeah, I don't think no. There's a little bit more nuance to it than that. Invest or retire. It does have to do with 2 million, but mine is easier. Yeah. What's this one here? Oh no. Jesus.
Yeah, you're way behind.
Am I?
Mm-hmm.
Help me out. If you see any questions, let me know because I don't want to skip anybody.
There isn't very many questions. You can probably go down.
I have PMCCs and Fidelity appear to be using no margin. Yeah, I don't see that. They do take up buying power though, because you're taking like 50 grand up or whatever. It's like that's subtracted out of there. It doesn't show that it's using any margin though.
Patrick has a question there.
What's this one? You talk about this one?
Mm-hmm.
You guys have a 2021 profit goal? Yeah, I do. I set it too low. 24%. That was, I think, my goal. So that'll be, there's 200K in the account, or there's going to be, because I just transferred another 25K. So my goal this year, I want to make at least 48K in there, which honestly, it's probably too low. But I like to under promise and over deliver. So I do that in the bedroom too. Okay, go ahead, Gerry.
I actually brought mine way down. At first I was excited because December really, got me some big time money. And then I got my ass handed to me in January, so it made me rethink everything. But I'd like to make 36K this year.
Oh, that's pretty substantial. What percentage return would that be, roughly?
That would be damn near 100.
Holy cow. Jesus, Gerry. It's doable. That's 10% a month, though, right?
From what I started, well,
like 8?
yeah, that's about right. From what I started in January, it would be about double.
Jeez. Yeah, I'm not that, you know me, I'm Dave safe, so.
And I'm pretty Dave safe too, but
you're just aggressive in your buying power, though.
I'm aggressive in the buying power. I'm getting a little better than that. That's why I brought actually back because I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna do 60 grand this year, and then I'm like, wait a minute, that's like that's like lighting a fire up my ass. So it
does compound too.
Let me bring that back down. 3 grand a month.
That's super aggressive. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm up 4.7% this month in February. For year to date, I'm up 12 grand. But I'm looking at this year or this month, I'm up $6,000, right? And I look at how much work that was to make that, and I'm like, okay, my goal is just 2% a month. Super easy to do. We talked about it last month or last week. We talked about the week before. 2%, super easy to do. And I'm double that. So it kind of gives you an idea, a barometer, right, of how much work does it take to make that 2%. It's pretty easy. So, Cole, do you have any goals this year?
Yeah, so it's really tough, right? So with me only being able to do covered calls, I'm not really having all too good performance unless the market is stagnant or going down. So it's a little tough. I had a really good December. I think I cleared like $1,200. January was a challenge, but I think I came out to break even. This month, I got out of a crappy Palantir call that I had, so I'm still down this month, but I should be able to break even as well. So we'll see. I'd say the goals this year is just to gain more knowledge as far as it goes. I was pretty risky early on as far as just doing like high delta trades and stuff like that. So I'm trying to gear it back now to where everything that I do is.
My advice would be just stick to what works. Stick to being safe. Don't go out on a limb and try to, this is easy, I'm going to start trying to make 100% a month. I mean, because people, you already got a cheat code. Why do you need a cheat code for the cheat code, right? Like you're trying to double down on the cheat code, right? There's no reason you need to do that. I mean, you're already killing it, right? I mean, Gerry in this case here, like I know Randy has a goal to make 50 grand in 1 month. He came close, I think, in January, but he has a goal of making 50 grand in 1 month sometime this year. And he came super close in January, but I mean, he's got a big account. Don't get me wrong.
That's part of the reason why you don't see me in a lot of Discords. I just don't. I don't want to get when I'm in the market. I stay out of Discords for the most part because I don't want to be influenced. Like if someone's like, "Oh, I'm into this, and look at this premium and blah blah blah," and I'm like, "That's something that's out of my wheelhouse that I don't mess with ever."
Yeah,
I don't want to get my eyes over there. So I just want to stay focused on what's working for me, and stay, consistent with what's working.
That's where it's kind of a blessing for me only having that ability to write covered calls, because before anything I have to be bullish on the stock enough to own it I understand that writing a covered call is technically a bearish position, but I have to want to have those 100 shares up front. So it's like, do I really want, and I'm not poking fun at Matt, but it's like, do I really want 100 shares of Virgin Galactic right now? Not
No.
necessarily. So, so I mean, that's just, it makes it a little easier. But I know
people
like,
don't realize, you just said something that a lot of people don't realize, naked calls or even cash covered calls it's a bearish position, just like CSPs and naked puts are a bullish position, because we really want the market to go up. It's going against, or it's going the opposite of the way, so we can buy it back cheaper and then start the whole process over again. That is one of the reasons why it's easy to make money in an up market, right? Because we're just doing cash secured puts. Market's going up, we buy them back, we start it all over again. So, but we don't need the market to go up to make money doing what we're doing. We can make money, up, down, sideways. It doesn't really matter. So, so he did give more context here. By the way, this is Cole on the right-hand side here. He was in the comments earlier, but just to make some extra, so he's just trying to get extra money. So does that make more sense, Gerry?
Yeah, he's doing exactly what I said. He's selling the call before being assigned. I would actually, it depends. That could work.
He's doing a 15 delta. So if the stock just turned around and went the other way, he's still quite a ways away from being in the money.
Right. And then, if he waited until he was assigned, that call could possibly have less premium in it. So it's kind of, I don't know.
Why didn't you just stick the strangle on right when you put the CSP on? Just curious.
Yeah, you could do that.
We do that. So I mean, why would you wait, I guess?
Well, I'm not gonna suggest anybody run naked calls.
No.
Yeah.
You definitely have to be very selective on your strangles. You got to be. I mean, it's almost a free position, right? It doesn't cost you anything, but I mean, Amazon, Tesla, those are some ones I had done it on, but because you can get so far out there, like Amazon, all right, you're gonna hit 4,500. You know what I mean? Like, no.
Yeah, you have to be extreme. For me to do a naked call now, I have to be extremely confident that
I almost don't even do them anymore.
I don't even think I have one on right now at all.
I don't think I do either. Matter of fact, let me look. I'm pretty sure I don't actually. I don't know what it is. I think the stock. We'll blame Stock Ninja on that.
Oh yeah, because I was playing Zoom, and if I do a naked call, I usually only do a week out or 3-4 days. And I was looking at Zoom like a week or two ago, and it was like 3 days to go. It would have had to move like $150 up in 3 days for that naked call. And I was sitting there going, oh,
you're sweating off of that. Yeah.
Oh no. So it's one of those 100% probability of profits. Or
the problem with Zoom is Zoom could do that though. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I don't actually have any open right now. All the ones I do have open, they're all just PMCCs.
Squintillions asked, and you guys are probably different than me in this aspect, but he asked, how are you guys choosing your strike prices? Sorry.
Where did she say that? It's a she.
Sorry. So
where did she say that?
Like with me, I was very aggressive in the past and it kind of burnt me, but now I kind of look to like 90-95% probability of profitability. I'm
pretty much hanging always around the 5. Some positions I'll go up to 10 if like on an ETF maybe. Gerry's at the 100%.
Yeah, I like to be. When I see 99%, I'm like, that's free money, baby. But that, to be honest with you, those probabilities are. I play the probabilities, but those percentages that you find are for that moment in time.
Yeah.
Right? So it's 95% probability of profit at that moment in time. It changes all over the place, between that moment in time and the expiration date. So it could go down to 70. It can go up to 99. It can do whatever it wants to do. So it's not foolproof, but it's, depending on the stock, if you can get in that 95% range, I've found it's fairly safe.
You'll a 2% down day though, you'll
feel it.
You'll feel it. I wouldn't say that you're in risk of being in the money or anything, but another day like that, you're going to be sweating a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, because
95% row like that, you'll be sweating.
There is still a 5% chance that you'll get challenged. And that happens. It's not a guarantee. So
Squintillions, I mean, we just kind of talk about this, but how I select them, I always start with the 5% probably in the money. And then I look at it. It's always dependent on the stock too, right? Am I doing an ETF? Is there, I always check earnings, by the way, make sure I'm not going through earnings and stuff. But how long do I want to do the trade, right? Because the shorter it is, the more risky I might be on it. But I'm like, the 5% probably the money is always where I start. If it's like 20 cents or something like that, I don't even bother usually. I don't even bother moving the strike up usually either. I just look for another stock. But I always start there. So I know that if you're using TOS, you do have the option there for probably in the money. Dave Safe. I should probably make a shirt for that.
Should.
Along with dibs. What's this one? 21 goals make 1K a month. So, okay. So 12K a year. Yeah, I don't know how big your account is there, Sahib. I couldn't give you any context. Like trying to make, 1K a month off $1,000 might be tough, right? Like it just depends. What do you think? You think you could do that with 10,000, Gerry?
Not me.
No.
Well,
20 would be easier.
20 would be easier, but
what's
1,000 a month?
1,000 divided by 10.
Hold on.
Yeah,
I would have to be.
That's 10%. That's kind of I don't know about that.
15 to 20 grand. Probably 15.
I would say with 15, you're going to have to be pretty aggressive though.
That's in Interactive Brokers though.
Yeah, and you're going to have to be aggressive.
So with 15 grand and Interactive Brokers,
I would say 25 would be the number where I would feel.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is doable without putting yourself in some stupid position.
Because basically you can control with 25, you can control $50,000 worth of stock. So safely ish.
25,000?
Yeah. I mean,
that's
you get
100,000.
Yeah.
Well, you get 4 to 1, but you don't want to get crazy. So use 50% of that.
Yeah. 1K a week.
Make good money with it.
I know that he's got a larger account. I think he's like 40 or 50. 1K a week. That's pretty aggressive still.
That's aggressive
because I look at my account size that I have right now, right? I'm up. I was about at 170 or something like that. 1K a week is still like I have to have a boatload of contracts on, and because of the 70% rule that I have, I always try to put on about 1,500 premium every week. So I have it out about 3 to 4 weeks ahead of time, $1,500 because I know I'm going to be buying some back, right? So $1,000 a week is that's pretty aggressive, especially for your account size and IS.
I was going to say, I think the best week I've ever had was $350, and that's off of just covered calls.
Covered calls, you're definitely I would kind of just look at it as kind of like free money just because it's hard to generate a bunch of money from covered calls. It's not a safe from that aspect that I feel like that covered calls are just safer in general. Now, I mean, we talked about covered calls earlier. Covered calls are safe, but obviously if you have a bunch of gains and all that, then I feel comfortable on the CSP side. I think almost all of us do. That's the reason why
absolutely
the call to put ratio is way out of whack. Looks like all good is hitting the hay. Don't do stupid shit like me and lose 50K on different stuff. He lost it on GameStop, by the way. So Don't play around with that crap. Gerry, Stock Ninja, Matt actually lost 50, 60K on GameStop as well. I came super close to doing a naked call on GameStop. I think Gerry did as well. So
yeah, I was the one.
Stick to your rules. Stick to your rules. Don't mess around with stocks you don't even want to own, right? Crap stocks you don't want to own. You know, even whether it has a pop up at 100% that day, you know, it's like you got to think, why did it pop up, right? So, I don't know. 1% off 100K. Oh, yeah. That's super easy to do. That's beyond Dave safe.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let me see. To make 1K off of 15K is quite. Oh, yeah, absolutely. We just talked about that. It's doable at 15K, but I'd feel more comfortable at somebody at like 25K.
Yeah.
Right around that, I'd say maybe 3%. Is that 3%? So let me see. 1 by 25. That's 0.04. Yeah. I don't know. 25K would be better, but this right here would be, you're probably just wasting money.
Yeah, you could do that in your sleep.
Yeah. Dave, what's your shortest ET? What's the longest? 2 years, baby. No. Yeah. My longest? I really don't go past 60 days, really. And I'm talking about cover calls for those because it's more of a passive account. I'd say for my, my options account, I don't go past 30 days. 30 days is the most I go. And honestly, most of the time it's less than that.
So what would be some examples of the 60-day range?
VYM doing a cover call.
Okay.
But I don't even do that though anymore. I got screwed on the VYM this time because of the 60 days.
How are
Too much
the
can
strike
happen in
intervals?
60 days.
Are they $1, $2? What are they?
What's that?
The strike intervals on VYM.
That's what I mean. That's the reason I had to go out to 60 days because I wanted to get $1. Because after a certain while, it jumped to $5 increments.
Oh, okay.
So I went out another 30 days, and I was able to jump it down, and it was 15% probably the money, and it ended up being in the money. And I think that's partially my fault though, because it actually was out of the money twice, and I could have bought it back, I'm sure, but I didn't. So there's partially to manage it. It was my fault. That's my plan to get DGRO, SHD on 100K, and then make 100K. So you're going to be in $100,000 worth of stock plus do CSPs or what? I don't know if I recommend that for people, honestly. That's kind of like what Stock Ninja does. He's kind of like leveraging his positions that are in the account. But there's added risk there, and PD ran into that, right? I think
they can liquidate your positions. You don't want to be subject.
There's added risk by doing that. You almost want to keep them separated. Do covered calls against it, but I wouldn't do options income generation with holdings in there too. Personally, I'm not going to be doing it because you're going to run into a situation where, we have a big drawdown or something like that. You're going to have to start liquidating stuff before the broker does. And because they're not going to care. They'll just liquidate whatever. There's no systematic, method to their madness. PD ran into that. And I think Matt Money did as well, or at least he was hoping that they wouldn't liquidate. And I think he got lucky that they didn't, but I think I already answered that one. Well, it is. We've been on here for 2 hours and 40 minutes, and we'll just do a last call. If there's any other questions, let us know. We'll give you a little bit of time, and then we'll end up closing it out if there's no other questions. I do appreciate you joining, Cole, and sharing some of your knowledge and stuff you've been going through and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the goal is only to learn more. I'm pretty capped out at covered calls. There's really not much to it.
That's a good place to start, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice place because you're really, as long as you don't sell below your cost basis, it's a win.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do what that person did on Amazon, sell below his cost basis.
I don't know this story.
Was it you? No, it wasn't you. It was somebody
No.
else in the Randy's Discord though. He got burned, but he burned himself is what it was, right? Thanks for another great live stream, Petey.
That's a
Great live
lot of
stream.
money tied up.
What's this one? Definitely keep the accounts separate. I was super lucky that I had only had a long-term positions and options, so he was actually probably up. They did liquidate some of them, but so if they
Some of
did
his
liquidate, he
options.
probably would have just been a realized gain. But can you imagine being down, just sell, boom, gone?
I think that's it.
Still waiting to see in my video comments, Dave. What? What? No. Nice strain. I don't know what he's talking about there. Well, I guess that is it. No questions. No more questions. So we'll go ahead and end it out. Cole, do you want to say anything on the way out?
Yeah, just thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Always fun to come on here. Other than that, though, I'm sure when you guys typically do every week videos, and I've been watching them, I don't think of the schedule. I think Dave, you
Talking
do
about
every
like YouTube
Saturday.
videos?
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of options videos. I'm gonna try to start doing more, but they just don't. There's not like a big viewership for them. At least I don't know if I have one for it, but
Yeah,
they kind of
the
fall flat.
options videos are usually pretty flat.
Pretty
So
flat.
it's not something I really share. So but as far as a live stream, we've been doing this every Sunday.
Yeah, no, I've tried to get in when I can. Yep.
Gerry, you?
You should see if you can get level 1 option approval on Weeble.
Oh, sorry. I mean, do you want to plug yourself?
I thought there was a question there. GW ETF channel. Check me out. Thank you for joining. Thanks for all the support, all the questions. Thanks, Dave, for having me on and being a staple in the hidden freedom investing conglomerate here. And thank you.
Anybody that's joining, go ahead and watch the whole live stream. Go ahead and watch the older ones too. We try to at least do one, kind of, I wouldn't call it a lesson, but I mean, maybe we can get there, but just kind of like an anchor point for the stream to talk about covered calls, talk about ETFs, talk about charting and all that. So go look at those older ones. So anyways, everybody have a good week. I don't have my platform open, so I don't know what the futures are doing. So hopefully we'll have a good week. I know they're going to be voting on the stimulus possibly this week, so watch out for that. And I hope everybody makes some money, and we'll have a good week. We'll see you later.
See you guys.
Thanks, Cole.
Night, guys.
Thanks, Gerry.